for it to actually. There we go. See, it doesn't count down anymore. I hate that so much. Well, we are live. Welcome to another session of the Paraneon Chronicle. Today we join two characters who have a long and storied history. Teacher and her student. Well, just to give some context for what's been happening. Sharae, before, in another session that we didn't actually record, basically tried to hack into the school files to get information on herself, and failed because her computer skill was fairly average, but not good enough to crack into the school's security. And she managed to escape the police and avoid getting caught, but now she's basically on the run. And
they have recordings.
And they have evidence of her doing these things. In general, the key here is going to be that Melissa, you are the head of the English department, and essentially the board, the director of the school, Director Mikaze, has told you that there's going to be a meeting. The school was closed, and they're going to have a meeting over lunch about what to do at the school while all the students aren't there. Because they basically tell all the students okay, you can't stay here. We're closing down the whole place, which is very bad because most of the students are basically there because it's sort of a pseudo prison. So that's why a lot of people are scared, because all these basically juvenile gangsters are now running loose.
Well, I assume that they would put the dormitories on lockdown and think they could actually...
or that would work too. I mean, maybe,
they can't really evict...
The students who are allowed to go home would probably go home, but the students who can't leave are probably just in lockdown. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Because you can't really just evict people that live there. It would be kind of illegal.
But for example, Sharae probably would have been able to go home, but of course...
But she's part of the reason they're on lockdown.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, from what you were able to gather, they actually released a press release fairly recently that the entire school was locked down because of they cited the reasonings as various disappearances.
That's right.
And one thing that you find very strange is that Leo isn't listed as being killed. He's listed as missing.
Oh, well then I have some news for them.
Publicly, he's listed as missing and not dead.
Publicly, but to the school board that might be different.
Well, you don't know what they know, but publicly, he's listed as not being available.
Shouldn't I know because I would have direct mass news to it?
I'm saying that the information that's circulating within the school is that he's missing.
Oh, within the school, but the school board has a different circulation of... No,
they would believe that. That's what I'm saying, is that you find that very weird because you saw him die, and yet no one actually knows that he is dead. They've been told that he went missing by the police. Celtia is also listed as missing as well. Sharae is listed as missing.
Yep.
And it's very strange because no one is real. She ran away as far as the press release is concerned. Who else? I'm trying to think of anyone else.
Ryan.
And in general, Ryan also is listed as missing. And there are a lot of other. Christina is listed as she's not a student, so she doesn't count on the list of students who are missing. But she's staff. Also, I'm trying to remember if there was anything else that'd be relevant. There are other students who went missing too. There's maybe about, let me just roll now. Let me get a number here. There are other students who have gone missing too. It's not just them. It's the people you know on top of other names and other people who you don't know. Well, you might know them, but you don't know them as well.
I didn't know anyone else was missing.
There are other students who have gone missing. It's not just the people that you know. The reason why they called this meeting is because there are maybe there's maybe a dozen other kids who went missing. And a lot of those would probably match up with the context that you have on your phone. if you want to double check. But on top of that, there are other kids who aren't even on that list who have also gone missing. So there's like tons of missing students. There's like, this is a big issue. Yeah, sure.
Would some of those missing students be the people I've seen at Samuel's house?
That's what I was going to clarify. Yeah, those would be among the students who were there are most of the who were missing.
Okay, so basically I would know that this group of missing students is actually people who've been exposed to Samuel's blood.
There are also a lot of other people who weren't factored into any of the groups that you know of. So they aren't like with you, or they're not like away. And like Elena is also she never really went back to the school, really. Mm-hmm. Since she went to the hospital. So she's also like not missing, but like she's been absent. So there are a lot of students that have just been absent, and then there are a lot of students that are missing. Like it's a big problem. And I don't really know how much of a ratio of students there are in the school, but I would assume that it makes up at least like 30-40% of the students are now like missing.
Mm-hmm.
Like
that's not an awful lot.
Nearly like, yes. No, this is why they're holding a meeting and closing the school, because this is like a big deal. There's like at least like 20 to 30 students who have gone missing. In total, or maybe like 20 more. I don't know. I should have counted all those numbers, but like there are like 10 people maybe about 4 or 5 that you've never heard of, and then like everyone you know of already. So that's probably around like 19 or 20 students,
mm-hmm.
which would maybe be more like 20% of the student population, not like 40. I don't know. I'm not a math person really, but it's just to give you an idea of like the scale of what's going on. Like this isn't as small as you might have thought it was. So anyway, this also follows the scene where after hiding out at Evan's house, Evan is someone that Sharae met to like negotiate weapons sales and stuff like that.
Well, I knew him a while before in Fluff, but this is my first
you knew him a while before, but this is the first time you met, like in game. After hiding out there, Melissa went to the house to try to talk to Sharae because they had been having back and forth texting conversations about the nature of the supernatural and these sort of things. So Melissa basically just blew wide open, like, oh yeah, I can do things. And I'm not really going to elaborate on that, but there's things I can do, and I'm aware of these things that you're aware of, but I'm kind of new, and I had an emotional breakdown, which, by the way, Melissa did lose wisdom because of her guilt.
Yes,
so it has a major effect on her character because of that. So Melissa's starting to break down, but she still has to go to this meeting. Evan's not really gonna actually no, he's going to go. He's gonna ask like you guys actually before you leave if you want him to like, because he wants to help you get those files that you wanted. But he doesn't know anything about.
It's a conversation for another time.
Okay, because he's like, if you want, I could go with you now or whatever you're doing. And you'd rather him go at night or something when there's less like, people there.
Yeah.
Okay. Because Sharae and Melissa, you'd both know this. Mitsuo already explained this like to the other people, but like the school security, as far as you're aware, like on a surface level, isn't very high. They have a few prefects, and most of the prefects, since this is kind of, again, somewhat similar to Japan, they aren't armed with like guns or anything. They might have like blunt objects or like very simple weapons, but that's about it. And most of them aren't like trained as like combatants. They're just trained to like restrain students if they get kind of rowdy, but they're not like trained as like prison guards or even, they're like low level training, like they're like prison guards basically, but they're not like highly trained, officers of the law or anything. They're basically just volunteer guards. And there are cameras and maybe basic security, but like there's nothing super advanced that would, prevent you from breaking into the school if you wanted. As far as you're aware, because this would be just a cursory like examination, like you don't, and you've been there for a while. They have cameras everywhere. You know what the prefects are like, etc.
Conversation for another time, perhaps.
Right. Mm-hmm. So Evan just lets you go, whatever. I'm pretty sure that just for the sake of character sort of consistency, that Sophia would probably like hop in your car, and you might not necessarily notice that they've done that, but they
Sophie's
do.
a cat, for anyone watching.
Sophia is a cat. Just a cat, a normal cat. Nothing strange.
There wouldn't be a role for that.
No, I'm not getting. Well, I don't know if they're even here, but
I don't think we'd really care.
That's what I'm saying out. Is like, oh, the cat's like following us, but like they're very good at not being noticed. So I don't necessarily think I would make them roll for that.
Mm-hmm.
There's no tension in that situation. So I just let that go. Anyway, the point is, so both of you, like, actually, so it would be Melissa kind of going out to your car, and this is where we'd have this conversation. So like Melissa is leaving to go to this meeting, and then we could kind of go from there.
Hey, you have to leave so soon?
Yes, why?
Because I remember you mentioned a meeting over text before, I smashed my phone, so, I want to go.
Of course you want to go. Why?
That's
so
right.
you could preach your case?
Precisely. I think that they'll be more willing to work with a student who's willing to work with them.
More or less so. Fine.
Good. Alright, Sharae is going to enter the passenger seat of the car. And
Front or back?
Front.
Okay.
Just kind of sit there and wait to be chauffeured.
Okay. So you drive to the school?
Mm-hmm.
The gate sort of swings open. It's sort of like that Gothic style like gate. It was closed before, but since they knew that you were coming, it sort of opens like automatically for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you pull into your parking space, your teacher, reserved parking space. You have a nice spot like right near the front of the garage.
No.
You come into the school. There's like a bunch of hallways. It's again very sort of Gothic, renovated castle like as you kind of walk through. There aren't actually any people in the halls besides like janitors or other prefects who are like watching the students in the dormitories. So there are some patrols, like some people walking around, but like it's not full of students like it normally is. It's very quiet and very empty, and besides like the sweeping on the floor, there's really not a lot going on.
I'd like to say one big noticeable feature about Melissa at this point is that she doesn't look very. The best way to say it, she doesn't look very healthy. She looks very she looks almost like a hollow kind of, where like her face is deadpan. She's not showing much emotion. Where she would usually be like greeting everyone. She's just walking down the hall silently with you beside her.
Right.
All right. And in contrast, sorry.
Well, in contrast, it's like the difference between like the sun and daytime and nighttime. She just looks like she's dead, in a sense.
I was going to say that Sharae rather looks quite nervous. She has not had to do many speeches in her time as a student, besides classroom presentations that didn't matter too much. She didn't care for too much. So, being naturally alright at them, it never went poorly for her. She's still nervous nonetheless. This time she has a prison record potentially on the line.
Mm-hmm. So you would, I'm assuming, unless you had a detour that you wanted to make your way into the director's office where they'd be having the meeting.
Try to let yourself get swallowed by the fire.
What were you planning on bringing for your lunch? Because they would have, you'd be still expected to be like eating during this whole thing. Well, I mean, they said, "Oh, let's meet for lunch." It wasn't like more of a okay, let's talk about this.
I assume that
it's somewhat casual.
Well, basically, essentially, they'd just order in food as a group.
Okay,
So
you could have
just be like a bunch of food on the table.
So yeah, there's a bunch of food on the table. The people that you recognize, it sort of goes from there's like 3 seats that are open,
mm-hmm.
and they're going to obviously react to the fact that Sharae's there in a minute. But unless you like hide or something.
No,
But,
no,
like,
no. I'm
she
going right
opens the
in.
door, and then you go right in. But just so that you understand who's there, there's the director of the math department, who's this sort of very like slim-looking, neatly groomed, like African American man. He sort of has like a green tie and like a sort of a suit, and he's just sort of like sitting there, and he sort of looks up, and he sees like Sharae immediately, and he kind of whispers to the other woman on his left, who's this sort of larger, like more rounded woman. She has like pearl necklace, and like very foopy sort of like poofy blonde hair. She's the head of another department. I'm trying to remember like what another department would be, because you have like all
They're the
the
arts.
literature. Yeah, she was the arts, right? That's what it was. So you're like English. There's the math department, and then
I'd also say
but there's only like 3 departments, so it kind of gets broken up a lot
No
would there be a
science.
history department?
between. It's sort of like the math and sciences are like one department, and then the English literature is like one, and philosophy and all that stuff is one department.
And maybe language too. Like
And
if
then
it was foreign language.
language, yeah, language would also be her under Melissa. And then
I did mention that there's a man named Tiberius that would be head of the history department earlier, I believe, in my
okay,
posts.
so I guess that would be another man.
Yeah, he would be
Tiberius,
like. I just wanted to describe
on
this.
the right side. Yeah, sure, go
He
ahead.
would probably be a closer friend to her than most, because I'm gonna say she probably socialized with him the most out of anyone on the board.
He does like history, social studies, that sort of thing. I'm imagining that he's sort of like more serious looking.
Yeah, he's like an army veteran type person.
He's got like a beard,
Yep.
like sort of like half shaved kind of beard.
Half shaved type beard. I imagine stark white hair, and I sort of like a stocky build to him.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Like he'd be more used in a family in like a labor setting, like doing manual labor rather than actually teaching.
Right. Of course.
All right. Well, upon entering the room, I'd probably.
Oh, I forgot the most important person. And he would actually speak up immediately when you enter.
Well, I imagine I'd say something.
So you don't get. Okay, so you say something, and then he would immediately interrupt you, of course, but you can say whatever you want. Good evening, Melissa and Sharae. I didn't think you would be here.
Sorry, who's talking?
The man sitting at the head of the table. So there's 2 people on his left, 1 person on his right, and then next to Tiberius is where you would. I got the name right?
Tiberius. Yes.
Next to Tiberius is where you would sit on like the right of him. So it's sort of like a curved table, and then he's at the head, and then there's like chairs. You see what I mean?
Yep.
So it's like this, and there's food like all along that table, and there's of course other stuff in the room too, but it's mostly the table, and like there's books sort of on either end, things like that, like shelves, and it's basically actually I can show you a picture of the office because I think I have a good one, and then I'll show you a picture of him. I just want it because I have a folder for this now.
What is his role?
He's the director of the school. He's the head of the
entire... boy. Oh no.
He's basically like, well, he isn't called the principal. He's called the director.
Naturally.
Which is very strange. Yes, here's the idea I had for like an office room. So it would be very sort of gothic because again, this castle is sort of. I'll just have to open it first because I have to share it, and then I'll get the other picture ready too of him because I got a picture of him recently.
Is the head prison warden there too?
Warden?
I'm joking.
I mean,
he's not a teacher.
He's also the warden. The director. He's effectively the warden, if you want to consider this a prison.
No, I don't know him very well. I've had a good record before now.
I found a rather nice picture for Tiberius.
You met him before, so it's not like you haven't seen him.
How do I post
I'm just
pictures?
trying to find my. Oh, I put it in my desktop because I wasn't sure if I was going to use it. So let me show you the office first, or at least a mock-up of like what the office would look like
Sure.
in terms of general layout. Well, I'm getting the other picture,
Oh,
and of
it's a
course
big office.
the table. Yes, it is, and the table would be probably moved in. So the table would be something that isn't normally there, but they've kind of made this table. Like they've moved the other furniture out of the way to make room for the table. And like I said, there's sort of like bookcases and like a lot of different photos. Oh, whoops. That actually moves the window. I did not realize it did that. That is funny. Okay, I will fix that. Okay, well, let me go get the other picture. Oh, here, I got it. Okay, so I can show you what the director looks like in a minute.
All right.
Once it loads his picture. I am having it is taking a bit longer than I want. But he immediately notices you, and allow me a moment to get it. Ooh, delays. Did you want to do anything immediately upon walking in? Either of you? Are you going to sit down, Melissa? Or are you going to stand there and? Because he doesn't actually say like get out or anything to Sharae. He's like, oh, well, we don't have another seat.
I think it'll be all right.
If you planned on, he actually doesn't seem very agitated by this. Like he's very calm, strangely calm. In fact, like he's very awkwardly sort of out of what you'd expect him to act like.
Oh, so he's like Melissa, is what you're saying. High composure.
He's probably seen a lot being a warden of this prison like school.
I can do this instead. So here, I'll do this. There you go.
Oh, he's younger than I thought he would be.
Yes, he looks very young.
Oh, let me see this.
You don't actually know how old he actually is.
Okay, so he's closer to Melissa's age.
You never really asked him how old he is. But
he certainly looks closer.
But
was he warden when Melissa was going to the school? Or I mean,
no.
Director.
Oh, then all right. So it's a different director than I know. What versus someone like Tiberius I would know from as in he probably taught me all throughout my high school.
Correct. This person is newer.
After greeting everyone, I would probably. All right. Excuse me one moment.
He sort of basically the director moves over to get Sharae a seat. Do you want to sit down? I can bring a seat if you'd like.
Sure. I can't say I ever thought I'd be visiting the teacher's lounge, though.
This is my office. This isn't just teacher's lounge.
Oh. Well,
I'm going to share this. This is entertaining. So Tiberius just sort of is like, oh, it's good to see you, Melissa, but why is she here? Was this part of this wasn't on the schedule. I'm very, he scratches his beard.
No, sir, I'm afraid it wasn't, but she insisted on coming along.
I believe you'll find what I have to say to be quite valuable.
Oh, of course. Your opinion is very valuable to us.
I haven't just opinions.
The other board members look very confused at his behavior. And the woman is speaking up. She's like, aren't we supposed to have a meeting about the missing students? Isn't she missing?
Let's just say not all the students are missing anymore, miss.
Oh, have they been found? That's wonderful.
Not quite.
Well, you see...
Oh, I'm so relieved. I was so worried when I got the news. Yes, well, as Melissa is about to explain.
Speak freely. What have the police told you about one of the missing students, Leo?
Well,
as she speaks, she's going to take a seat next to Tiberius.
He was
give him a pat on the shoulder.
he was in your he chuckled. Uh, he was wasn't he assigned to your class?
Yes, he was.
And after that, we lost sight of him.
Well, let's just say the authorities did find him, but it doesn't look like they shared all the information they could have with you.
Is there something we should know? Like the director is narrowing his eyes. If
Well, I've known for quite a bit, but I think Miss Sharae would like to help enlighten you all.
Yes, yes. I'm sure you've all seen the, well, you guys know that I recently tried to, enter these school files, yes?
the director's nodding, everyone else seems somewhat out of the loop.
Alright, and that you also have evidence that I had some kind of weapon.
He sort of points to a bag that's over like on one of the desks that like very clearly contains the weapon that you were
Alright, which is a pistol.
yes.
Right, well, I would like a chance to explain myself so that I hopefully don't face time in prison if I don't know if what I'm to say here is
Oh, you
maybe.
won't be going to prison. You won't need to worry about that.
Really?
No.
May I ask what the current consequences would be before I explain myself, just so that I know, worst case scenario.
Oh, well, you don't need to worry about something like that. We've already worked it out with your parents. They're perfectly fine with your current arrangement.
I don't know what that arrangement is.
As long as you're being held here, we don't have any issue with you.
Right. Well, actually, I need to know a bit more on that, but let me explain. So, about 2 nights ago, I was in my dorm, it was evening, and Christina was coming around to make her late night, or not late night, it was only 7, her checks to make sure everyone was in their dorms because of the curfew. And
Yes.
she visits and asks to come in, which is odd, so I say sure. And as we have a quick chat, well, not a quick chat at all, she ended up staying over because she was so worried that she was looking into some of the students and she found that Alice, one of the younger students, was planning to kill herself.
I see.
So she stayed over and I tried to calm her down, but I felt like she needed some company during the night, so I kept her with me.
He interrupts you for a moment and looks at Melissa. Isn't Alice one of your students?
Yes, she's a student that comes in very rarely, about once a month, perhaps.
Were you aware of this? Was
I aware of this?
I
should
don't
be in
think
her
she
file.
could have been.
No. The prefects are supposed to report anything involving my students, but I've received no reports on this.
Well, she didn't know what to do, right? Because it wasn't something that she had much time to react to. Apparently, it was supposed to be very soon.
The director's starting to take notes, by the way.
When morning came and we awoke, she left my room, right? And she actually came back in what seemed to be a huff, and she told me that she'd just been seen in the bathroom and she was going to do it. So we tried to get over there, and the door was locked.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to break in. So sorry about that, by the way. And we talked to her. We managed to convince her,
That explains that issue.
Yeah, we managed to convince her
wasn't
to let it go.
The one of the other man speaks up and he says, "Yes, that's why the door was broken. It was an emergency."
We try not to break property when we can avoid it. Essentially, we discovered that Alice has been suffering from some depression, and she's been very lonely at her home. I don't know if her caretaker, it was alluded to that her caretaker might not be too good at his job.
Yes, her parents are both deceased. He clarifies this for everyone in the room.
So we talked to her a little bit, and she tells me that she's recently learned about a couple of things that might be disturbing. The first of which is that Leo, he's not just missing, he's been killed.
Did they find him somewhere?
Yes, he was outside near the church. They were planning a party there. I'm sure you saw the flyers.
Yes.
Yes, and she was around, and Leo was apparently his corpse was found, and she got spooked.
Okay. I see.
And so she also told me that she knows that I can't be in the school for the reason that's listed on my file. She told me that people can't be here for their orientation, that they need some other reason, and that if I'm here for the reason that's on my file, then I shouldn't be in the school, and that got my attention. She said that something about corruption. I don't know. So we went to her house for a while to talk about
He
events.
stops you. He like holds up his hand. He's like, so you believe that we've brought you here for no good reason.
I don't know what to believe. I was trying to check. Let me get to that, please.
I understand. I'm gonna let you finish your whole story before I have you roll
Right.
anything. So
When we left and we learned that people had been targeting this student for murder, Alice
although
seemed
just
to...
as a pause, I actually do love the idea of now doing this Phoenix Wright style, like they just cross-examine everything.
They can cross-examine this. I've thought this through.
But no, I'm gonna just let it go. I'll stop interrupting you from now on.
So Christina, she seemed to be concerned. She thought that this might be a bigger threat than either of us thought. So somehow she got a gun and she gave it to me. I've never used a gun. I've never held a gun. I've never touched one. I didn't intend to use it, but I was supposed to keep it for safety. And so I decided that evening that I would try to go see what's on my files to see if that was really why I was here. And so I did. I went to my dorm and I tried to access the files. Unfortunately, I'm not as good at computer stuff as I would like, and I didn't quite get in, as I'm sure you figured out. I got locked out and I got a message about police coming to visit or something, and I didn't actually believe it. I thought it was a hoax. So I decided to keep going, which was a very bad mistake. I got scared and I tried to avoid it. I ran away and, well, found out later that Christina was taken by the same killer.
Right.
I got a text from her. She said she felt she was in danger, and then nothing. She didn't text back. She didn't follow up. I haven't heard from her since. I messaged my teacher, Miss Stockwell, and I talked to her a little bit, and I explained some of this, and she said that there was a meeting, and if I wanted to, I could attend to try to explain this because it's important information. But I know that with what I've done, I'm honestly trying my best under the defense that I've learned in law class of due diligence. I cannot be prosecuted for what I've done. I've been doing my best to try to stay within the law, but I didn't know what I was doing was a crime, and when I did do a crime, it was for the defense of another student. I would like to argue that I'm one of the better students at the school. I've never had a record for any of this kind of thing, and I had like a second chance after that kind of traumatizing event. However, if it is possible, and if what Alice says has any grain of truth, I would like to know why I'm really here, if there's another reason. And I was also going to search Leo's file to figure out if there was some kind of pattern between him and perhaps Christina. Maybe he started to catch on, or now that I know, I think I might be a target.
If I may interrupt for a moment.
Mm.
You said that Christina and Leo were killed by the same killer, correct?
I think so. I don't think there'd be more than one. Oh God, what if there is?
You think?
Yes.
The director just sort of folds his legs and
I'd like to ask,
pay attention.
if you'd perhaps remember the exact message that, or rather the messages that Christina sent you.
Yes, okay. So she told me that, can I have a quick description of Wolfgram?
Wolfgram is sort of this tall, like light. I think he has like sort of like between like light brown hair, German, very strong facial features.
Okay. She told me that there was a strong man. He's very pale and
Yes, he would be very pale. That's true.
What kind of hair color did he have again?
Sort of like light brown, and it sort of goes in like he has sideburns.
Yeah, the brownish hair. He was apparently sticking around Christina and watching her, and she was getting pretty scared. I didn't reply because at the time I was still running away from, the school because of what I'd done, and I was feeling really shaken. But she told me that she was in danger, and apparently she saw he had a weapon, a knife, and I haven't heard from her since.
You mentioned his name, right? Wolfgram?
No, I do not.
Okay, you don't. Okay.
I do mention he's of German descent, though.
Okay. Okay.
I see. Well, out of character, obviously, she knows that you're not telling the truth about this, but
Right.
Dude, this whole story's a lie.
Yeah. So that's why I'm honestly going to say here that this would be a pretty big sort of lie that you'd have to sort of fabricate. Mostly just to determine if they realize it. Now, of course, the board members believe you, but the director is somewhat skeptical.
Okay.
I'm going to have you roll against him. So what I want you to do is I want you to roll me. It's going to be your manipulation plus your what's the word I'm thinking?
Persuasion.
Subterfuge. And you also get 3 dice of bonus.
Oh, damn. I guess you thought it was a good story then.
So the question is, does Melissa support this story, or are you going to try to poke holes in it? Because you know she's lying.
But I'm lying because I can't tell them about supernaturals.
Right, but I'm saying, are you corroborating her story in any way, or are you trying to like? Because you can help with this role too.
If I want to, I just want to ask one thing real quickly.
Yeah.
About the director, what I noticed that you said that he's very different than everyone else, right?
You actually notice because now you have these senses that are more advanced magically than before. That there might actually be something somewhat off about him.
Okay, then while she's speaking, I'd probably glance at him with mage sight at that.
Okay.
While she's corroborating, so I wanted to get that out of the way.
No, that's fine. If you want to do that, you're totally.
Yeah, it was a long speech. You'd have time.
So that would be what arcana are you using here with your mage sight?
All right. Well, arcana. Yeah, I know. I'm probably going to be using mind.
Okay.
And matter.
Okay. Sure.
With probably just like the mind being the leading one. But
okay, no, that's fair. So you're basically doing like a mental scan.
Yeah.
To determine his okay, that's fair.
A mental scan because matter and
death. Of course.
Is there like a part of him that's dead inside, like his heart maybe?
Sure. Yes.
Can I ask how many extra die does willpower apply if I use it?
3.
3.
Alright, I'm using a willpower.
But I haven't, because Melissa, depending on what she does, she can give you a higher bonus because she can help you here.
I'm just marking that I am using willpower regardless.
But if you're doing this action, then you can't support her, so you would have to choose.
What do you mean?
Because I'm saying I guess you could do both, but you want to do this first.
Because this is a long speech. It's only take like a few seconds to glance at each side.
Okay. So that's what you're doing this while she's talking. Okay.
Yeah. I already know she's.
No, I understand. Okay, so you roll your dice. What
are my
obsession again?
My obsession is to find out more about mages.
Okay. So what this would be your gnosis plus your arcana of mind, because you're leading with mind. So.
All right.
That's 2 dice, I think.
So I'm not just looking at him. I'm actually scrutinizing him in this case.
No, you're not. You don't have time to do that. But what you're coming up against is somewhat different than what you're used to.
Oh, I'm trying to peel something away. All right. And would it cost willpower, or would I have to add mana to do this?
I would let you add mana if you'd like. That's reasonable for me.
Okay, so I'm probably use 1 willpower and 1 mana.
Add mana, because mana in this case gives you automatic successes.
Okay, so I'm going to use 1 willpower and I'm going to use 1 mana for an automatic for 1 success.
Okay, so that's 5 dice with an automatic.
Oh,
Right.
nice.
And then I'm just going to bump off 1 mana, so I'm down to 6 mana.
Okay, so you just need 5 dice then.
Good luck.
Thank you. Oh wait, where's my mana? Sorry.
And then your
I would
mana.
like to ask,
Sure.
should it go through, can I get a beat for, one of my aspirations is stop Alice from harming her allies. And Alice's main bodyguard dude is Wolfgrim, and I'm framing Wolfgrim.
I understand, but they don't
But
know it's
not
Wolfram.
directly.
So
But by putting suspicion on her and perhaps getting them to
Right.
investigate neglect.
I see. Yeah, I understand. I think it would depend on if you succeed with that,
All
which
right.
is what we're investigating at this point. But
Yep. I was just wondering.
you're using this to pin the blame on Alice. That's perfectly fair. If you succeed at that, then I would argue that you could get a beat for that. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to roll.
You wouldn't mark off the aspiration; it would stay. But you would be making progress if you decide to shift all of the blame on her.
Well, I'm trying to shift it onto Wolfgrim.
I got no successes, so only 1 success.
Damn.
Either one. Would you like a critical fail on this, or are you okay with just a regular one?
It's the how many successes would I actually need to do this? Was it,
You do not know.
what would the critical fail be?
In this case, the critical failure for using a mage sight, in this case, would be probably some sort of backlash on you, or you see something that, or well, you don't necessarily, well, you wouldn't see anything, but it would be some sort of backlash on you, not necessarily a paradox effect, but some sort of negative effect.
I'm just
At
going
the
to
very
take the regular fail and just bite my, and basically I don't see anything.
So in this case, you don't notice anything out of the ordinary for him. You kind of feel this unease in the room, but you can't identify what it is.
Maybe it's my
But
nervousness.
he seems to be paying a lot of attention to this, and there's something about him that he doesn't seem to be affected by the unease, is what I was trying to point out. I should have been more subtle about this. But it's not like you detect he's supernatural, but it's more like you explained, he has a high sort of composure, that he doesn't even seem to be affected by any of this, so it seems suspicious.
Would I be able to make an assumption knowing that usually when I use this sight, I'm able to see supernatural easily, but this time I didn't see anything?
Yes, you could assume that you'd be suspicious, but like beyond that, you have no data to back up. Oh, whoops!
Basically,
I just realized
it
I'm
didn't
sharing
work.
this.
So no.
Not that.
All right.
Yeah.
As
I would have
for-
opened my notes and you would have seen everything. That would have been bad. Ugh.
Screw that willpower roll. Anyway, let's see.
Dude, that's how the dice rolled for me
Okay,
every single time last
so
game.
Are you supporting her claim, or are you trying to put the because she's going to try to pin everything on Alice? Are you okay with this, or are you trying to divert it back, or what's your angle here? Because you have to speak up.
Is it possible to stay adamant and not give her a bonus or a minus?
Yeah, you can stay neutral.
Okay. And
you could just not support or deny her story, but then
if I may ask, how many dice do you have right now?
So you get 3 bonus dice.
I'll tell you, I only have 2 manipulation and 1 subterfuge.
All right, so 3 dice.
Plus 3 is 6 dice right now.
And then, because you're adding willpower, you just get a natural bonus 3.
I am adding willpower after that because I guess my lie was good enough to get a +3.
Well, it's also you're wearing fashion and stuff like that. That also gives you a bonus.
Oh, really? I forgot about that.
Yes.
That applies in the +3 then.
Yeah, and then the +2 is just RP.
Cool.
Like URP. Very well.
All right.
Okay.
Mm,
I'm ready on my end. You just let me know what you're gonna do.
I was really hoping that if I stated them more as facts, I'd get to use presence instead of manipulation.
It's in this case that you need to convince them that you're telling the truth.
Could I
Because
suggest that as a persuasion roll?
subterfuge covers lying, so that's what you're doing. It's less that because it's now that you're not actually telling them, hey, I'm innocent. It's your real goal now is shifting everything on Alice and like claiming neglect and all this stuff, because
I
Because
understand.
the director has already said, yeah, we're not putting you in prison. You're basically already in prison.
Fair enough.
So the idea is you're like, wait, no, that's okay, but look, Alice is also at fault here.
Oh, I'm just trying to help them.
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly. But you need to convince them that that's the truth.
All
That
right,
Alice
I'm good.
is
I comprehend. I agree.
okay. Cool.
I'm just thinking
You can roll your.
because essentially I'm choosing to either stay adamant, go against her, which Melissa probably wouldn't do that. But I'm just trying to weigh out because based on earlier precautions, she might not want to support you 100%, but she certainly wouldn't stab you in the back and outright call you a liar.
Mm-hmm.
Now that would be fun, but you wouldn't be able to prove really anything that was a lie.
Okay.
Yeah, let's say that for now. But
I roll 2 successes of my 9 dice
All right. Fair.
oh,
because 7s don't count.
Mm-hmm. They do not, unfortunately.
I'm
I
sorry.
do like Exalted, but in this case, they do not count. How many sevens did you get?
3.
Well,
3.
I
All
was
right.
going
Cool.
to say something to the board, but
Well, say it.
That's why I was asking you before. Did you want to speak up? Because
oh,
you
I
said
wanted.
I'm remaining neutral.
Oh yeah, the thing is, I wanted to say something to the board, and I wasn't sure if that would count as supporting her or not.
Well, that's why I asked. Do you want to
I
say
can always
anything?
re-roll in that case if it changes it.
No, you've rolled already. No, so here's how it's going. You can say whatever you want, but at this point, it's going to have no effect on the dice.
All right,
But you can say whatever you want. Go ahead. I don't mind.
ladies
Because
and
you might get to
gentlemen.
make your own rule now, but you can't help Sharae.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's quite obvious that our student here has been through a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and as her parents are very, let's say, in touch with the school, I say that we just dismiss her for the time being. As of, I think we have more important things to speak about, such as there are 20 other students missing.
Or murdered.
That's fair. Do you say that in character?
Yes, I say that in character. I
No,
say
I'm
I'm
asking
basically
Sharae.
saying that.
Sharae said,
Yes, I
or
do say
murdered.
that.
Okay.
Okay, at that,
Right.
Melissa's
Okay.
just going to give you a slight, like, stern look, or murdered.
I'm trying to help you here. I have a hint.
Anyway, the point is, I think that we should just, seeing as no harm, that there will be no punishment administered anyway because the girl's family, I think we should simply just dismiss this now and put it behind us. Wouldn't you all agree? There's no point in
Well,
prosecuting someone who's already going to get off with a jail-free card. Wouldn't you agree?
she isn't getting off free. Her
Oh.
parents have agreed to increase her sentence.
Lovely.
Otherwise, we would be in a lot of trouble with the law enforcement. We need to enforce our own rules here.
Fair enough.
I didn't really.
But they just to be clear, that's pretty normal. They're basically like, okay, we were treating you really well. Now you're demoted, so you're basically gonna be treated like every other student.
Mhm.
Because now you're gonna have to bunk with someone and deal with that too.
Oh, no.
Better than jail time.
I'd rather die.
Moving out.
I'll get
I'm
the
gonna leave.
Bill
Like,
song.
well, we can't if because obviously if they knew you were just planning on leaving, you'd be forced into their custody. You'd be a fugitive still.
All right. So, do I succeed with my 2 successes?
You're not sure, but you have managed to affect the other people on the board seem to believe you. The director is still just sort of paying attention to everything that's going on, and he's like, would you mind, he's sort of talking to everybody, letting me and Sharae have a moment alone.
Should we step outside?
he's talking. So he's asking like everyone. He's kind of gesturing around. Like, would you mind if we had a moment alone?
Alarms
And
go off
Tiberius
in
was like,
Share's head. She thinks
I-
she's gonna get
I didn't.
done in by a supernatural.
I didn't even get to eat my food yet. Could we please? I'd like a moment alone, please. This is a very serious matter. I would like to speak with her alone.
If it's okay with you guys, I won't be here after I'm done this. I can get out of your hair. You can eat your lunch. It looks pretty good.
Tiberius like gets up, like screeches his chair, and leaves. The other man leaves, and the woman, who's the head of the arts department, she leaves as well. So it's basically just the three of you in the room now. Melissa, is there a problem?
Well, she looks between Sharae and the man as if not so sure what to say.
I'll be all right. Thank you for letting me get this far, Miss Stockwell.
Okay. Well then, if you're insisting on leaving, she's going to go up to you and she's going to whisper something into your ear.
Right in front of the other guy. All right, bold.
Well, is he going to be...
Well, I'm gonna have him roll to see if he hears you,
Okay.
but you can whisper.
Well, wait one second. I'm just trying to think this through. Is there a way I could persuade him to let me stay? Could that be a roll, or is this like absolute? I have to leave.
Well, he's being very adamant about it, but you could attempt that.
All right. Well, would I be able to apply striking looks to this?
You tricky devil. All right.
Yo, man.
Plead your case. No, plead your case. Here, I want to see what you do. Okay.
All right.
Give me a shot.
May I have a moment?
Yeah. No, I'm saying go ahead. Because you're sitting down, and he's like right to your. He's like maybe about. He's like this close to you. So like.
Well, I'd say that at this point, Melissa would lean against the table, sort of propping her chin up against her. All right. She has both her elbows propped up on the table, and she's gently resting her chin against her hands.
Mm-hmm.
And she's looking at the director with a smile. Well, sir, seeing as Sharae reached out to me and I've been trying to help her through every step of this, rather, I'd say rocky road, I'd like to stay behind and listen in if you don't mind. I won't say a word unless it's called for, but I would simply like to listen and make sure everything's okay. You know me. I'm not going to be the word of this to the other staff if you do not want to reach them.
I would honestly rather have a moment alone, if that is possible. Go ahead and roll, but he's still not really.
All right. So my roll would
striking
be.
looks applies. It's going to be presence plus.
It's not manipulation.
No, it's presence. But you do get your striking looks. I'll give you that, and then you
Okay.
have.
That's 3 dice.
Presence and persuasion, I think, is the other one.
You'd have been better at lying than I would be.
Okay, so that's
You have
5 dice.
Yeah, that's it. So you should have 5 dice.
And before I need 5 successes. All right.
Go ahead.
I roll 5. I got 3 successes.
And a 10.
10.
1 roll.
Okay.
That's
we
4
roll them.
successes.
4 successes.
Damn.
He gives you a smile back. You make sure they shut the door on the way out.
Cruel.
All right, so he's just kicking me out?
Yep.
No, I'm saying he's letting you stay in the room.
Oh, what? I thought it
okay.
was the opposite.
I was about to say, I'm like, please.
I thought it was going to be like, make sure you shut the
No,
door
he
on the way out.
He looks at Sharae and he says, "So why have you come back here?"
Well, I thought,
To speak with us, I mean.
right. Yeah, I thought that I don't want to live as a fugitive. I was out there for just a little bit. It's not
Well,
a place I want to be.
he kind of focuses on your eyes, and it reminds you of what Tina did. So you might get this like
I look
paranoid
away
sort of
from his eyes immediately.
flashback. You avoid looking at him, and he's just sort of puzzled by this. Go ahead and take like a will. You spent willpower just now, right?
I spent 1 willpower.
I'll let you have it back because I like that this sort of paranoia. I like the idea that this paranoia is really starting to get to you, the point where you can't even look people in the eye because you're afraid of being dominated.
Yep,
Oh.
it's happened
Um,
twice now in one day.
So you look away from him and he's like, "Is something wrong? Am I making you uncomfortable?"
Eye contact. It's been tougher lately.
Is something going on? I mean, of course you've explained everything, but I can understand it would be hard on you.
What are you implying?
All these things piling up. I can understand it's stressful. I've had to deal with a lot of people who crack under this sort of stress.
Well,
What's your integrity at right now? Just so I have an
6.
idea. 6? Okay.
Do you
Can you roll your willpower for me, please?
roll willpower? Just 5 dice then? Because I
Yeah,
have 5
just
willpower.
5 dice. You can spend willpower on this too, by the way, if you want.
I don't know what no successes.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
He is rather attractive.
Cool.
The dice hate me, man.
Cool. Where'd my die go? It fell. Okay.
I
can do it later.
suppose there was the event. I told you of the party, did I not? The one
Yes,
that had to fly.
I heard everything. I think
I was
the
invited
real-
by Celty. I was to be there. If we weren't running late, then who's to say I wouldn't have been the victim?
Would you just listen to me, please?
Okay.
And his voice just sort of cuts through yours. And he looks at Melissa. You said I can trust you?
Yes.
All right, fair enough. You have been very loyal to us for a very long time.
After a
I
decade.
see no reason
Back.
not to allow you in on the deeper workings of this place. He sort of looks towards Sharae. I think it is time that you took a break. Do you understand?
Pardon me.
Just relax. And you sort of involuntarily sort of feel your body start to slump a bit.
Oh no. No. She gets up. Can she?
It's difficult, but you can make an attempt to struggle.
I am going to.
If
there's some sort of magic going on, would I pick up on it?
you would have, yes.
I just look at him with wide eye. Like, I guess I give him like a little.
But you can also use active to determine what might be going on here. But passively, you don't detect anything. But you could roll to sort of try to uncover what might be happening.
I'm gonna roll. What would my dice pool be for rolling?
I'm sorry. I meant to say you could just activate it. You don't actually need to roll.
And what's
I'm
my
gonna
pool?
activate to see what the hell's going on. I want to know if this is a mind spell, a life spell.
What you understand actually is that there is no magic, but you notice there's some very out of order, sort of not out of order, not like broken, but like very strange like mental activity, because Sharae's aura is like not necessarily being controlled or manipulated in any way, but it's sort of like
Being given a sedative.
no, you can't really detect sedatives, but you notice that her mind is reacting in a very very how do I put this? I'm trying to like think of an analogy because you're literally like physically, or how are you sort of attempting to visualize this? Like, are you trying to pick up on like her mental static? Is it like a hearing thing? Is it like a visualization? Like, what kind of mage sight are you using here?
Most
How
likely.
do you want me to communicate this to you? Because there is something that you notice that's off, but I'm trying to figure out like how to frame it.
I guess.
Like, how are you viewing her mind? Is it like a heart monitor? Like, what is it? What do you see? Or how do you?
It's kind of like an outlined picture of the brain, except its color depends on the person.
Mm-hmm. So, like, what you notice is that there are very specific areas of her brain that are being like colored in, like pinpricks, like I mean, like very specific, like needles, like acupuncture. Like,
yeah, so I can relate. I relate.
it's
to
like when he's talking, it's almost like he's like pricking like a point in her head, like a pressure point, but it's like in her brain.
What roll do I need to make?
Like what you would do is it would be more of a like stamina plus what exactly are you attempting? Like, you're trying to get out of the room? Like,
I'm trying to just stand up.
Okay, so that would be in this case it would be more of a stamina roll because you can feel your body like fighting against you, like not to move.
Can I add athletics or something?
Yeah, sure. That's fine with me.
Okay. And I will add willpower.
Sure. Go ahead.
I have a hunter bonus because it's magic.
Yes. Sure.
All right.
I'll allow that.
In that case, I'm going to add an extra however many dice.
I will clarify this. This is not magic because she would have sensed it. So you are aware that
Sharae does not sense magic.
But it is. No, I'm saying Melissa does. So.
Okay.
But I will allow you your hunter bonus, so you can choose what effects you want to get from that. But that's risking it. So if you fail, that means that you
Crit fail?
you get a critical fail.
Well, I'm standing up. It can't be too hard.
Fair.
All right. I'm gonna add 3 dice. I think that's the thing you can do as a hunter.
Yes, and then
And
what was
apply
the other?
9 again.
Okay. Yes, I'll allow that.
So then, I have 3 normally. So how many total do I have?
You have 6 with 9 again.
Okay. Okay, I get 2 successes again.
Okay. You managed to fight against whatever is compelling you to do this.
And I stand?
And you managed to like move like normally, like you can do whatever. You're able to like functionally like move around.
You're one of them.
He
You're one of them. Don't do anything. Don't take my blood.
You're resisting. This is frustrating.
She's gonna get out her knife from her boot.
Okay, you draw your weapon.
Yes.
Roll initiative.
Down now.
Everybody. You get a -1 because you're holding a knife.
Okay.
Everyone else is going to roll
How
normally.
do you roll initiative? Is it just the initiative?
What am I
count?
gonna roll?
1 die. Yep. 1 die.
Oh, I have
And then you add
initiative.
your
Wait.
Oh my goodness.
But
Okay, I rolled a maximum of 10.
you add your initiative bonus as well.
I have 15
Minus
initiative
1.
then.
-1.
I'm rolling 1 for
14.
initiative.
14. Okay. And you roll 1 die. Yes.
10. Okay. This now the dice roller loves us. Great.
Boy.
So what's your bonus though? That's the important
My
part.
bonus is, I'm scrolling down to it. Initiative bonus mod is 7.
Are you drawing a weapon?
Am I drawing a weapon? No. I do not
Okay.
have a
So
weapon.
you have 17. So you're first. What do you do?
Okay.
She's drawing this weapon because you could stop her if you wanted. Like, she's getting the knife out. You know.
I'm going to. Convince. I'm just looking. Sorry, let me just look at my stats. I'm trying to decide what I should do.
Okay.
Um.
Now, if you want to convince her to stop, then we have to enable PvP mode, which is going to be fun. But we'll see how that goes. Friendly fire is on. No, it's off right now. It's off right now. So obviously, you can't stab Melissa. That'd be illegal. Well, it's already illegal, but it would be. I wouldn't allow that.
Did you know it would be illegal to stab your teacher?
I stabbed my teacher. It's like, no.
It's like, that's against the rules. You can't do that. GM just gingerly takes a knife and throws into the void.
So,
No. Okay.
17. And then he has 6.
I'm going to try and stop her from drawing the knife then.
Can I argue that drawing the knife is paranoia?
I mean, we've already done it's once per scene.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. My bad. I won't ask again.
It is paranoia, but I already gave you. So I feel even more justified now giving you that.
Okay.
Now you're still acting that thing out, unless it says otherwise in the book. As far as I know, it's once per scene.
I don't mind. Once per scene is fine with me.
Okay. So, how are you going to convince her not to draw a weapon on this man who is clearly seeming to try to debilitate her in some way?
Oh, I have to factor in her debilitating. So, remember that
Because she seems to be like. Because keep in mind, like you are like able to do this, but it is difficult for you.
What, me?
Like Sharae. So when you're drawing this knife, like your body is fighting against you the entire
Heavy.
time, but you're able to do it. Yeah, your body feels very heavy, but you're able to force it to do what you want.
Okay.
Because you are powerful now in your mind way.
Rawr.
Scary. All right.
You believe in the power of friendship, and that makes you stronger.
There's no friendship. It's just fear.
Essentially, what I'm seeing, what I saw was he wasn't trying to harm her or anything, but he was just trying to make her relax.
Mm-hmm.
Could you tell that?
Yes, I could with my mage sight.
Mm-hmm. You can determine that, yeah.
Essentially, basically, what she saw was essentially that he's using some. She doesn't think it's not magic from what she could sense, but essentially, she saw him essentially doing acupuncture, except on your mind, to make you try and.
I want to clarify that you don't sense anything coming from him. So this is all like. The weird thing is, it's as if she's causing it to herself. Like that's literally what you're seeing. It's not like he's causing anything. It's literally as if she was causing this to herself.
It's gonna be stupid. And it turns out that we're both like muffling our auras, and I'm gonna scream. I'm kidding, but
that like the concept is that you don't see him affecting her in any way. So the only thing that you can determine is that whatever this sort of effect is, it's something that she is causing to herself, which doesn't make sense. She wouldn't cause herself to do this to herself. That doesn't. Why, But that's part of the why you'd be confused.
Now, quick question: is there sunlight in the room?
Yeah, there's light coming in.
There's windows.
From the window.
Okay, so just clarifying, she thinks he's a vampire even though he's out in the sun. Okay, I'm just trying to
She doesn't know what to think. She just knows that she's being cast on.
Okay, then I'm going to try and convince her to calm down.
Okay. Do you want to be calmed down?
No, not at all.
Okay. So are you okay with me sort of doing this thing where she tries to roll to get you to calm down?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
I'm going to use that
would be manipulation plus empathy.
Manipulation, empathy, no striking looks. Beautiful teacher trying to convince you to calm down.
That's up to Sharae. Because Sharae is homosex, so it would be up to them.
Do you find her attractive?
Am I rolling something to defend against this?
That's up to you. If you want to
I most
resist.
definitely am, because after I've been cast spells on like 3 or 4 times just in the last day.
I would give you 6 dice against this.
I don't know if looking any prettier would help you convince her that supernaturals weren't harmful to her.
So no. Sorry.
Oh, rip.
But I am giving Sharae 6 dice here because your willpower plus 1.
Okay.
Because you definitely don't want to not fight and stuff.
I'll roll 6 then.
Yeah.
All right.
I get 1 success because my dice hate me.
Yes, that's true. They do.
All right, so I have 5 dice for the manipulation because I have 2 empathy. So I'm gonna roll
2 successes.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll 5 dice, and I'm gonna crit fail.
Hey, that'd be fine with me. You make her even angrier.
Do I want it? That would make her angry.
You are one of them.
You're one of them.
Oh boy, I'm one of them.
You're confused. You're like, I am? But okay.
Okay, so 5 or I use will. Fuck.
You
I'm just gonna
literally
use
said
5.
yes. To be fair, the director did turn to her and say,
No,
"I can trust you with this
no
information."
successes. Great. So my
So you
words
try to
mean.
calm her down.
So, like
So
from your perspective, he is. Oh, like they are working together.
so basically, I'm guessing you just don't acknowledge my words at all. You're just like, fuck you.
Well,
There's
I
shit
haven't heard
going.
any words yet.
Oh well, crap. My bad.
Say something.
Sharae, there's no need to pull out a knife here. No one's going to hurt you. It's broad daylight. You're
3
in a
spells in
school.
one day. This is the next one. This is the first one. I'm not doing this. No.
There's no spells going on, Sharae. Calm down.
It's happening. I can feel it.
Let's see. What was the other one? He's like thinking. Like he's clearly like thinking. Like you can hear him mumble that. He's like, "What was the other one?"
I
Oh,
won't let you get to it. Stop. 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 She's just gonna repeat stop a lot.
Director,
Okay.
I don't think doing what you're doing is going to help her. You're getting her paranoid.
It is now Sharae's turn. What do you do?
I am going to tell him that if he continues, that I will stab myself with a knife.
Wait, hold
okay.
on, I'm not gonna no.
Fair. Okay. Do you actually like start stabbing yourself, or are you just gonna like, like,
I'm in a
like
holding
what kind of?
position, yeah.
Okay. Right. Well, it might be noon. He sort of slouches back in his chair, kind of putting more distance between him and you. Although the distance isn't very far, like you could leap over the table and like stab him in the neck if you want.
I'm not quite crazy.
He's not that far away, but like, he's basically like saying to you, it's far past your bedtime, and you start to feel very like this same sort of effect, but now you're more aware of it because you're very focused, and you can sort of feel your entire body start to like.
Can I use the last of my consciousness to examine his aura?
Yes, actually. But then you wouldn't be resisting, so you have to choose.
Yes.
One or the other. Okay.
I accept that.
I will protect your body.
Fair. So what you're going to do then is I'll have you make that roll because it's your turn, so you can do that as your action.
All right. I'm going to use willpower for this. I'm going to use 2 willpower because I'm just spamming willpower.
Fair.
And note, the last time I did this, it made my eyes bleed.
Correct.
And it could only be taken away by...
Well, that was because you didn't sleep.
That
you feel better
she didn't know why. In character, she doesn't know.
Right.
She thinks her powers are unreliable. So she's worried that they'll fail her, but if she bleeds...
We'll see, We'll see how unreliable they are here.
If you see something, please tell me.
So it's empathy and wits?
Yes, that's correct. And you get an extra willpower. 5,
and then is this another hunter?
By the way, yes, it's a hunter thing, so you would get to add whatever effect you'd like.
All right, what are the hunter effects again?
You can lower his resistance. You can make yourself get 9 again, or you could crit on 3 successes instead of 5.
Okay, I'm going to lower his resistance.
Okay.
And I'm going to...
Oh, add 3 dice is also the other one. Yeah.
Ooh, so... Okay, Melissa, help me out here. Am I gonna add 3 dice or crit on 3 successes?
What's your dice pool right now without
5?
That's basically saying that's 6% chance. That's asking for 60% success.
I should probably add.
Don't start doing probability on me now.
Well, I'd say
actually, you know what? I'm gonna add 3 and crit on 3.
Okay, you're going all.
Okay, yeah, that works. You have 8 dice to get 3 successes, and if you get 3 successes, you.
No, only 2.
Okay, but you still succeed.
You succeed.
I don't know if he succeeds. He has a resistance.
That is good. I will see what happens. I will see what you see. Tell me what my wizard eyes see.
Oh no.
I'm thinking.
Please no get hurt.
Oh wait, did he actually have a penalty to apply to me rather than a... I didn't ask.
Oh no, there's no penalty for that.
Okay. I just know that Tina had a penalty or something.
I like
what you notice is you start to black out.
Yeah.
But before you do, you are able to see that his aura is like Have I'm assuming you've seen Naruto, but if not, Morg does. His
I have not
aura
seen
is
Naruto.
okay. Well, his aura is basically like this black flame that's like consuming him. And
Believe it.
when I see consuming him, it's sort of like, auras are normally like outside of someone's, like
Yes,
they're around someone.
is the
Now
aura.
this one, it's like very close to his skin to the point where it almost looks like it's like burning away at his body, and it's like this flame is like rising out of him, and it almost looks like it is alive, like it's this living thing, because the flame sort of moves, and you could swear that there might be some, like, humans are trained to see faces. You almost think you see a face in the flame,
And it
this
stares back at you.
blackness, and then you completely like fall over onto the
I
floor.
just mutter like help really quietly.
Yeah, help. And you go unconscious. Oh, also you take 2 beats for that.
2 beats.
Yeah, and then I'll give you the hunter ones after, but you get 2 beats.
Hunter and your supernatural.
He used it on you twice. Well, that I'll get to that after the
Director.
I'll get to that after the after like we end the scene. I'll tell you your hunter ones, but normal ones you already get 2.
Yay.
So you can mark, because I basically.
Oh, and I got one for framing Alice, or no?
You're not sure. We'll have to see how that plays out, because
Okay.
you attempted it.
Right, I don't know if I succeed or not, though I'm pretty sure he
Correct.
realized that I'm not telling the truth.
So she basically like goes unconscious, just from him like speaking, and she drops the knife as well. Now, if you don't mind, it would be better if nobody knew about what happened inside of this room. Do you understand?
Hey, I'm a mage too, we could get along.
That's what Morg would normally do, I think, but not here. No, I hope not.
I'd say Melissa sighs, picks up the knife, and places it in front of him, like non-threatening manner. She just takes up, she places on a table.
There's 2 knives, so which one?
She had 2 knives with her?
No, I mean, you don't have yours.
No, I'm not that stupid. No.
Sharae's knife.
Okay,
Yeah, Sharae's
so you
knife.
take Sharae's knife off because you have to get up, grab it, because she was on the other side of the table.
Yeah. So I get up, grab it. I'm gonna put it in front of him. I'm just gonna sit next to him.
Okay.
Well,
it's effectively your turn, by the way. So you have active, like, if you wanted to.
Yes, I agree that we should
pick up the weapon.
Right. I agree that we shouldn't speak of anything that would happen, but I believe you said you would share with me what's really going on around this school. Did you not?
Yes. Would you mind coming with me?
To where?
This way. You think you would help? It's going to be hard to move her like this.
All right, so I'm going to help pick up Sharae.
Okay. He goes over to the bookcase, like moves one of the books. There's like a pad, like a, like keypad.
Mm-hmm.
Puts in a number. You could try to remember it because you're pretty good at that.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm going to try. I'm going to remember that.
So that's it's wits composure, I believe.
Wits composure? Hell yeah. Well, it's 5 dice.
Yeah.
Crit fail. I think it's 911. Okay, so
well, it's clearly not 3 numbers, so you wouldn't even guess that.
Oh, rip. Anyway, wait. Where's my sheet? God.
I will give you a -1 because this is very hard to do quickly, but you're trying to do it.
All right. So I'm going to roll 4 dice.
Quickly.
You should use willpower, I think. Oh, 2 successes.
So you can write that on your notes or something that you've memorized this code.
Okay.
Director access code.
And so after he punches in the code, the bookcase like shifts over. It's very cliche, but that's what happens. And there's this sort of like tunnel that and it's not a dark tunnel. It's actually like very brightly lit with like tile floors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
That was just
And
me.
basically, no, sorry, I was trying to see what you were typing. He kind of urges Melissa quickly.
I'm going to, yes, skip along with him down the twisted rabbit hole. I swear to God, this is to the hedge. I'm going to kill something.
Yeah, see, if you look this way, there's a giant in the forest of
And you
thorns.
see, that's my friend Princess. You're gonna love her.
Oh my gosh.
No,
Yes, where's my knife?
no.
Secret
So,
tunnel
so
slot.
he,
Could I say that if I'm leaving the room, I'm probably gonna take the knife off the table? Did he take the knife?
no.
I'm gonna take the knife with me just because, like, I wouldn't want to leave it there for anyone else to see.
Sir? Just give me a
You
second.
have my knife now if you'd like I'll send you the stats.
So I have a question. Are there normally like parent-teacher conferences, or like have you ever met like Sharae's parents, or do you not know who they are?
I'd want to say I've met them because, yes, I would say that this is a high school setting and I've had parent-teacher conferences, yes.
Mhm.
But though I imagine that they're very small because I don't imagine a lot of parents would come.
Okay, of course. Well, you have seen Sharae's mother before,
Yes.
or does Sharae?
Oh
In
no.
fact, they almost look exactly the same, except that
Oh,
Sharae's
no.
mother is older.
All right.
And obviously that's not very abnormal because
Yeah.
of course they're related.
I look just like my mother.
So you kind of bring Sharae down the hallway, and as you move, like some of these lights will automatically like switch on. It seems very advanced. And like as you go through the tunnel, it opens up into this
Do I
large.
see anything interesting with my matter site, like how advanced this is?
Um,
Just
sure. So you see that the lights themselves are like they have mechanisms in them. They're all like very advanced. Like you see in like I'm imagining like you see a circuit diagram running through the wall. There's like, but they aren't just like regular wires. They're like very advanced. Like it's like a circuit board. It's less of like a wire grid and more like an actual like computer.
mhm. So
They're very thin.
this is like really high tech technology I'm seeing.
Yeah,
Right now, and I'm just,
I mean like post human level tech here. Like this looks like something like a spaceship would have, like the level of technology that you're seeing. Just for context, like this looks like a space shuttle, or something. And the door has like a similar kind of like mechanism where it's like very advanced looking.
so James Bond movie. Nice.
It's like a sliding sort of door,
All right.
but it's like, and there's like that sort of thing. It's like more advanced than you would expect like this sort of technology to be.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're going, you see because your matter site is still on, you see like a figure like holding a clipboard
That's
because the clipboard is sort of highlighted because again your matter site. So you see someone come up and she says, "Oh, what happened this time? Oh, I had to deactivate her again. She was looking too far into things. I think we might have to reset her a bit harder this time. I think." Yes, I don't believe you've met Melissa. This is Dr. Lair. He introduces, and again, she looks very similar to Sharae, almost as if they were like identical, except she's a little taller and she's wearing like a lab coat with like little buttons, and she has like a name tag. Good to meet you. I've heard good things about you. Of course. It's been a while. Since the start of the year?
yes, it has been.
Good grades? She's like nudging over to Sharae.
High scores on all quizzes.
That's good. That's good. The program must be going forward smoothly then. Any abnormal behavior that you've witnessed? She's like taking notes. Eyes, bleeding, anything like that? Nausea, seizures?
She's been rather uppity as of late.
Uppity, yes. But is that normal? I mean,
I would answer that out of character first, so she knows.
abnormally uppity.
Yes, very abnormally.
I see.
Fair
Possible.
enough.
And in terms of eyes bleeding, she might have noticed that because
There was blood, but she didn't know where it came from.
there was blood,
Yeah,
and she only briefly washed off her face.
Mhm.
So it's quite possible that she still had like remnants of dried blood hanging
Okay.
from her cheeks or something
Yeah.
when she was encountered first.
mhm. So I could say, well, this morning I did see some blood around her eyes. I'm not so sure if
And
there's
she
any.
didn't. She hasn't attacked any students or anything like that.
She was raising a gun at me. Well, she didn't point it at me,
Ah,
but she did have a gun in her hand
Yes,
this
of
morning.
course. Aggression. That's normal. That's normal. Has she complained of any lights or flashing colors or hallucinations?
She talked about having an aura sight.
She's like walking. She's like walking you through another like hallway,
All right.
and like taking.
Well, I want
And
to
the
at this point.
director moved her into another room, so she's like walking in a different direction with you.
Oh, wait. As in, like she left Sharae in the other room.
He's bringing Sharae into another room,
All right.
off to the west, and they're
Before you
taking you
take
down another
Sharae,
corridor.
could I look at Sharae with matter sight?
Sure. What are you looking? Just like you don't notice any objects on her person besides, well, her phone
What I
broke.
know is
So,
that she herself.
I actually carried nothing. I left everything in my purse.
so yeah, she
Well,
has nothing on her besides her clothes, because her clothes
The reason
are
for doing this is because they're talking to her like she's a robotic program, and she's like, "Are they with all this high tech technology? Do they make a robot?"
correct. You don't. You're not sure if they are a robot or if they are some kind of. You don't notice any machinery like on her person or inside of her body or
So
anything.
as far as I know, as far as my sight's telling me, she's made of
Actually,
flesh.
Actually, yeah. Could you make like a wits composure check? I
Oh
just realized you
no.
might find something. You have to look like very close.
All right, I'm gonna add willpower to this. So 8
And
dice.
I'm gonna give you like a -2 because this is pretty accurate shit.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that's 6 dice then.
Because again, what I'm trying to explain here is this is sort of like you have to how do I put this? Like you have to examine in detail how this would go and what arcana are you using because it's very important here.
Well, I'm assuming I'm still using matter.
Okay, but you have to pick another one.
A matter.
I mean, you can use more than 3 if you want, but you get 3 by default.
3 matter, death, mind.
And then, do you want to have any others?
Thanks. Would space help with looking inside of someone?
Yes.
Then I'm gonna replace death with space.
Fair. Okay.
And that's 5 wits and composure, you said?
Mm-hmm.
With -2.
And then, of course, -2.
I
Yes.
marked off the 1 willpower. But would I gain a willpower
Barely
back because
count.
I'm using my vice?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm back
So
6.
you can just
So
cancel
I'm
that.
rolling 6 dice.
What is your vice?
Lust for
Cool.
knowledge.
Less for knowledge.
Ah.
All right, so gonna roll that. I got 2 successes.
Dexy. Okay, cool. You actually don't notice anything. Like there's nothing like abnormal about her body. But if you zoom in, because you use space to sort of magnify the like what
Insides.
your zoom enhance kind of thing, you notice that there's like a very small very small sort of implants like in her neck area.
Okay, so I know that she's
Like
made
a-
of flesh
like
and
a-
bone.
Like some kind of spinal implant.
Checking out your student.
It's like very tiny. It's like an X-ray thing. You don't actually see like she obviously bone, yeah, but that's not like what you're looking for. It's like highlighting this thing that's like implanted in her body.
All right.
It's not about her body itself. But again, if her body was made of metal, it would come up on the. You would see it highlighted, obviously.
All right.
But she has some kind of implant, but it's not a kind of implant that you would you're familiar with because you have like basic knowledge of medicine. This isn't like it's some kind of chip. You don't have any details. I mean, you could try to roll, but it would be very hard for you to determine
I'm
that.
basically also trying. I saw that, but I'm also basically trying to confirm that she is a human, right? I can't.
As far like, I mean, in what way? Like, how would you define human in this case?
Flesh and bone, regular anatomy.
It's like, I mean, nothing that you don't have life, so you can't really determine anything about her bones or her flesh or her anatomy.
Mhm.
But you have no reason to believe that she's not flesh and bone. You can see that she has flesh on her. She has skin, obviously.
Mhm.
And if her bones were made of metal, they would have obviously shown up on matter site.
And obviously she bleeds, unlike Superman.
Clearly.
All right, so I hear that. So I know she's a spinal implant. Interesting.
Right. Would you want to try to determine if you could get any information about that?
Is that just a regular roll?
Yeah.
Or
But you're
would I
pretty
add-
smart, so maybe you'd know about this. I don't know.
All right, so
Do you have computer?
no, I do not have a computer. I have 4
Okay.
intelligence.
What's
so
your intelligence? You have like 4? Okay, I'll give you a die.
1 dice?
The funny part is that I'd have a better roll on this with my average computer score and my
I don't
average
know.
intelligence.
Well, this is a -3 penalty right now.
Mm-hmm. So that's why you get 1 die. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna roll 1 and just YOLO it. Rip, no successes. All right.
Success.
You can't determine what kind of chip or implant this is, but it seems to be some kind of chip. You don't know what it would be for, but it's definitely abnormal. You know that, but you don't know what it is. I mean, if you go, because you can zoom in enough to actually see like what the components are and such, but you don't know enough about computer components to know like what does what, right?
Yeah. I would.
So you're like, what is this? I don't get it.
Nothing
Alright.
little research can't cure.
Okay, but I should just clarify that basically she was just checking to make sure that her student wasn't some machine of something because they were referring to them as
No,
if
of course
they were-
not. Of course not. So
you got
her
that
mother.
here, by the way.
Her mother is walking you down this corridor, and you managed to get a glimpse at her this way.
So I think the last question was,
I will
she
give you an
seen any
arcane beat for
lights?
that, though.
Okay, sweet. Arcane
So you
beats. I love them.
Take that.
All right. You guys seem to have top of the line equipment down here.
Yes. It's all my work.
Let's see.
If I may, I think a question was missed there when you were checking.
Sorry, what were
when
you?
you were looking at me? There was a question that was, has Sharae seen any bright lights or flashing colors?
Yeah,
Right.
you didn't answer.
Oh,
You
I
were
responded.
looking at her.
I was responding with she told me about her seeing auras and such.
Well, yes, that's very normal. Like that doesn't sound like something she would say to like, oh, seeing auras. Yes, that's normal. Yes.
So
No, that's not normal. No, but she's like, yes, that's normal. Yes.
So is your daughter some sort of experiment then?
Well, I hesitate to use that word. It sounds somewhat inhumane.
Well,
Even calling her my daughter is a bit of a stretch. But of course, if the director has already brought you down here, I'm guessing that he trusts you enough. Sorry if I'm not doing the voice well. I haven't really prepared a voice for your mother, but I'm
It's all
trying
good.
my best. In theory, you would be doing, because your voice sounds the same.
Well, unless you're going
That's
to
something
text things to me and have me repeat them.
No, I'd rather not. That's why I'm doing this way.
Yeah, it's all
But just
good.
so you have a context, like,
well, I have been going to this school for over a decade, if you include my teaching. Was this all
Yes, I
around
think-
when I was a student?
oh, well, that's a good question. I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to tell you at this point. So, if you'll just come with me, she takes you into another room. It looks like almost like, and there are other people walking around down here too, like other, researchers.
I really wish I had life sight. Holy shit.
Kind of moving around. There are and your matter site, you don't have to turn it off. You can just keep it on, but it's difficult for you to talk and look at things at the same time this way.
I'm going to turn off matter sight for the time being for a little bit.
So you turn it off just so you can focus on her conversation. Because keep in mind, like when you have this on, it's kind of bombarding all your senses.
Yeah.
So it's harder for you to even listen to what she's saying. She takes you into like a room that has like a label on it, but it's like in like another language, like like symbols that you don't really understand.
And there's no rule to find out what they are. Darn.
Not really. You're not sure what these symbols mean because they look more like hieroglyphics than like symbols.
I should have known you guys are Egyptians. It's always the
But
Egyptians.
but if you want, I would let you like make a roll if you'd like. Sure, you're pretty
What type?
smart.
What role would I? All
Academic,
right. So
but I'll give you
intelligence
a
and academics.
yeah, because this is kind of obscure.
That's 7 dice.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
minus one because this is kind of obscure, but it's not.
Well, yeah,
uncommon.
that's 7 dice with the -1. I'm saying.
6 dice is
Mhm.
good.
Okay.
No. It's 7
total.
dice with the -1.
Right,
I have 4
okay.
and
Oh,
4.
Good. Okay, go ahead if you'd like to roll for that.
All right. That's 1 success. Wow.
not even close.
You recognize it as a one
I'm
is in.
rolling.
You only need one.
Up 2. So give me that crit then, boy. 2 successes though.
What did you get? 2 successes. Very
Yes.
good. You'd recognize it as a glyph that like represents memory. It's like some kind of it might be Greek or like Egyptian or something of that sort, but I'm pretty sure Greek would probably be the closest thing. It's like it's written in Greek, and it says like memory room or something of that
Is
sort.
Greek Latin? Am I mistaken?
No, Greek is not Latin. It's like written with like Greek symbols. It's
Okay. Just don't know.
sort of thing, and it translates roughly to like a room of memory or memory room or some sort of
A memory.
base.
So I'm just gonna say that to her. You're taking me to a memory room.
Well, yes, here you will be. We'll just take a seat.
Well, I'm not going to enter unless she's going to tell me. Well, I'm assuming I would.
You're just standing there like,
Is there a reason you like to take me in?
oh, well, we won't harm you or anything. It won't hurt.
Oh,
Just a simple operation. You know, it's part of procedure.
Can I
We need
tell?
to clear you before you can enter the other rooms. It's
Dude.
kind of like getting a vaccination.
what if she wipes your memory too?
Can I tell if she's lying or not?
You can make an attempt. It'd be
Well,
wits
I
empathy
want to
or
tell
wits
she-
subterfuge, whatever's better for you.
You said what or what?
Wits empathy or wits subterfuge. Except you're waiting for your turn. Did you want to do something? Are you?
What's empathy? Okay, so that's 3 dice.
I'm curious now, actually. Except to saying, I'm waiting for my turn. Is there something you'd like to do? I'm curious because you're like on the other side of the city right now. I actually do want to ask though if there's something, because this would be happening after you're done with your your ritual.
3 dice. So I want to use willpower.
After this, I will definitely give you a chance to do something. Okay, sure. Sorry. So what
Okay.
were you saying?
I'm gonna use 1 willpower, and I'm gonna find and have 6 dice to see if she's lying to me or not.
Okay, fine.
Because I don't want. I'm starting to get a little bit paranoid myself now. 6 dice, 2 successes. Reroll the 10.
I'm surprised you don't just use mind sight to figure this stuff out. But okay, or mind magic because you can do that.
I think that's the question is more. Oh, I can do that?
No, I think it's more of I don't want to risk anything. I don't know what they are.
You don't know if she's a sleeper or not. That's right.
If she's not asleep, I use
how
my
many
magic. She's gonna just freak the fuck out.
How many successes did you get?
2 successes.
Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, she's definitely not telling you the truth. She seems fairly uncomfortable, and she's like trying to force you into this room, like verbally. But you can tell that she's obviously like nervous about something.
Miss Lair.
Yes, is something wrong? She's holding up the clipboard like very close to her face, like this.
I can tell when someone's lying to me rather easily.
Well, I don't mean to deceive you, but
Perhaps
I'm being honest.
perhaps we should take a step back and explain things instead of taking me on before you take me on a tour of this all.
Well, that's what I was trying to explain. I can't take you on a tour until
No,
you're processed.
Nova, I said explain things to me before you take me on a tour.
No, I know. And she would repeat
Oh.
what I said. She's like, "Oh, I can't take you on a tour unless."
Miss Lair, I don't want a tour. I would like an explanation.
Well, it's going to be very difficult.
Going into a room marked memory, saying
It's
I
going
have
to
to
be
get...
it's very difficult for me to explain this to you. I think you might not understand all the complexities involved.
You'd be surprised what I can understand.
I really don't think you would understand all of the complex. She's like speaking slowly to you. Like, I do not think you would understand the complexities at work here. This is beyond English or history. This is.
I'm not going to go into that room.
You're just like, nope, I'm not going in the room.
Well, she's obviously lying to me about, and she says I do some weird sort of vaccination thing with a room marked memory, which sounds like she wants to wipe my memory. So I'd rather not want to go into a room.
Are you going to like accuse her of that, or are you just going to remain quiet?
I can wait for an explanation, but I can tell you I'm not going to be going into a suspicious room like this. I apologize.
What's suspicious about it?
Well,
She's like,
how do I
now
put...
sounding like kind of accusatory to you.
The room says memory, and you say that I have to have some sort of vaccination. Now, as you said...
it's similar. We're not actually going to inject you with anything. That would be unnecessary.
Then what do you plan on doing? I'd like to know in detail what you plan.
She sort of laughs a bit. Oh, well, again, I'm not sure if you would understand, but in order for me to allow you to enter the other rooms, in order for us to maintain, she's like trying to think of the right word. Well, yes, in order for us to maintain our secrecy, these projects are very very sensitive. It contain very sensitive information. For us to allow you to, we must process you according to our protocol, you see. Now, I promise you won't be harmed, and there will be no danger present to you if you just comply with what we ask. And if you are not willing, then we will have to ask you to leave. I'm sure the director is fine with you going this far, but to go further, you must be willing to work with me here. You understand?
Fine. I'll go.
I'd like to
Now
raise a hand. Just real quick.
I will point out something that you would be somewhat aware of, in the sense that you know that you have these magical abilities that would allow you to possibly bypass whatever they're planning on doing.
Okay. I'm glad I saved that.
Because they're clearly not aware of what ability you have to
Oh, they're not aware of what I am. Okay, sweet. All right.
Nova,
no.
if
So-
my memory gets wiped, can I return
Yes.
my vice from paranoid back to what it was before?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, this is gonna be meat
If that,
if it goes through.
All right. I'm gonna look at Miss Lair. Please excuse my paranoia, let's say. Perhaps what Sharae went through is starting to rub off on me, but going to a school for nearly a decade and finding out there's a very secretive base just below it is a little bit... I do not want to say unnerving, but surprising. But I'll see what you have to offer, and I'll judge for myself.
All right, make me a your mind plus your gnosis roll.
Mind plus gnosis. I don't have a yantra. Can I use concentration?
This isn't well. Okay, this would be a spell. So yes, you can allow. You have time to concentrate
All right, I'm going to
on like
concentrate.
bordering, creating like a mental border.
Okay, and I'm probably going to use willpower again because I do not want bad things to happen. All right, so that's 4
Sure.
willpower. That's 7 dice.
You've got a lot
Okay.
of willpower, man.
Remember that
7.
you are using this around people.
But it's internal, so there shouldn't be. It's internal, correct?
Yes.
Get
Okay.
your stupid
Fine.
paradox out of my face.
It's covert. But yeah, I don't think there's any reach that would be like super dangerous. Like you need to obviously do this quickly, so that's 1.
But that's it.
And then that's it, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing else that you need to worry about because you're affecting yourself. You know, yeah. I don't think we need to get into this too deep.
Internalized. All right.
But
I'm gonna roll 7 now.
but yeah, 7. Okay, wait. Can you do that math for me again, just so I know
Okay.
how that
It's
works?
1 gnosis, 1 mind,
Yeah.
1 concentration,
Yes,
and then 3 from willpower.
2.
This knocks me down to 5 willpower.
Okay, fine. Go ahead.
Wait, does knock me down to 5 willpower or yeah, it knocks down to 5 because I got 1 back. All right.
Yes.
Okay, rolling 7. That's 4 successes, and I have to reroll 2.
That could be a crit for you.
That's not a crit, but it's 4 successes, so that's
Very close. Okay. So
very close to succeeding or very close to a crit.
they place this helmet on top of you, like, but you don't seem to. I mean, here's actually something that you would notice is that you notice like consciously that you're become very confused, so to say. But what you've done with this magic, what exactly is your imago here? Because you're being affected by this and you're trying to work against it. So how are you doing that? Because they are erasing your memory. So how are you going to magically prevent that from happening? You could put I'm just wondering, like, are you doing like a hard drive thing? Like, are you backing up your memory? Like, are you
No, they're erasing my memory,
are you
but I'm
like creating a
protecting
barrier?
myself.
Like, what is this doing? Like, what are you magically like doing here?
Well, in my mind, I'd say the conscious image I imagined before, like a miniature version of Lavender there, correct?
Mhm.
She would see this threat and essentially make false memories, I guess, to feed to this eraser, I'd say, in a sense.
Okay, so it's like you're just throwing like all this false data into the machine. Okay.
Yeah, so
That's
like
a really cool way of doing it.
so essentially
with all
like
this-
there's like a little version of Lavender inside of her and she's like, "Oh, you're going to try and erase my memory? Well, I did have some junk over here. You could always take it."
So you're just giving it memory you don't need to just erase.
Well, it's
So
more
you
like,
might forget what you ate for breakfast today,
yeah.
but you'll remember what's going on now. So it is
God
you have to give
forbid
up
you
something,
ever forget
but
breakfast.
it's not. You're specifically sorting unimportant stuff. So I'm not gonna say, oh, you forget your parents' face or something like really horrible like that. No, it's all junk. Like you just get rid of all this junk that you do not need.
Yeah. Or in a sense, I create false memories. Well, I wouldn't say I'd throw away junk. I just say I'd create that. I would essentially.
Well, you have to give up something. So but it's not anything important, you know. It's
All right.
just
So yeah, like I'd say I threw out like
you don't
the
need to
memories of
specify.
foods I ate.
Yeah, I mean things like very basic information that you remember, but you don't need to remember. Like
Like
this is
remember that
important.
kid? All right.
But
yeah,
nothing
basically-
like actually important. Like you don't forget your name or anything like that.
Yeah.
Forget all the memes that you have, so it's like you see them for the first time again.
Yo, actually, that's pretty smart. Oh shit.
All the memes just in the Sorry, I'm just imagining this machine like comes down like a vacuum cleaner to suck up your memories, and you just feed it memes.
It's like you just see like a baby, like a small version of Melissa's like, here, take the memes. I have no need for them
Finally,
anymore.
the junk is gone.
And then once this thing like pulls out of your brain, it just like is like full of memes.
So what do we find in our ace English teacher's brain? Well, there's a lot of Pepe the Frog here. It's like, wait, what? This is what my
Okay.
daughter's been. All right, go on.
So, you know, the Dr. O'Hare comes over and tries to determine how you're doing. Like, make sure that you're not confused or disoriented or anything of that nature. Are you all right? She like waves her hand in front of your face, like gets a flashlight, like checks your eyes.
I'd say I just look at her with cold, piercing eyes. No, I just
You
look.
gotta put on this act that you're like, Brandon, right? Or am I wrong here? What exactly is this?
Well, at this point, I'm guessing based on what she knows, they tried to erase her memories. They know that they're basically not trying to do this weird procedure. I'd say that she just takes off the helmet.
Okay. And then like she's like, okay, well you can come with me now if you'd like.
Very well.
She kind of leads you into the other room where they took Sharae.
So, are
And
you going to explain to me everything now?
well, I think everything will speak for itself. And the door slides open.
Okay, I'm going to say the door slams shut behind me. Oh no.
Well, it does, but slowly. It's not like no,
You're trapped here now.
But slowly it does shut. And the room is like very it's very like warm. Like it's like kept warmer than normal. It feels like kind of not hot, but yeah, it's like you know, if a room is like chilled, but except it's like the reverse, where it's like very like warm and
feels like tropical weather.
Yeah, feels like tropical. Feels like where I live.
Florida.
Florida. Yeah, it's very Florida. Welcome. We built a tunnel all the way from no, it's not literally. That would be impossible. You have to go under the ocean. Anyway, no, I need to be serious here for a minute. Serious face. So what you see is the director moves. Well, okay, so let me see if I can kind of help you visualize this. So there are computers. Like there are so as at your eye level, there are computers, right? There's like a computer here. There's like a computer here. There's like computers, like rows of computers. And like when I say computers, I mean like supercomputers, like very advanced, like big, thick, like blocks of computing, like, you know, and they're like lighting up and things. There are like tables, like operating tables, like with supplies and things like on the floor. This room is like huge. Like it takes up almost the entire space of the school itself. Like the entire room is like insanely huge. Like it takes up the entire building, huge.
Yeah.
Like it's all underneath the building, and it basically would take up the entire space of like the lobby or like most of the you know, square footage of, and maybe more than that. It's like massive.
Yeah, just a lot of computers.
I'm trying to not the computers, but like there's like a huge open lobby, and then there's something on the ceiling, but I'll get to that. So basically there are computers, there are operating tables like in the middle of this room. And room, it's more like it's like its own underground like complex. It's basically a complex, and there are like little, you know, doors and things, people coming in and out. It's like a big facility. There are people moving in and out. People say hi to the doctor. They're kind of confused as to who you are, but she explains, and they seem fine with it. So, and she kind of points up to the walls, like, well, if you see here, we have the actual subject of the Dreamer program. if you'll see, direct your eyes to the ceiling, and you can actually see the director is like moving up like sort of an escalator that they've set up, like not escalator, but it's like a, how do I put this? Like it's one of those automated like lifts, like you have like a lift that like lifts you up, like if you stand on it and then it goes up like that.
Mm-hmm.
He's like standing on one of those, and he's like going up, and he's taking Sharae's body, and he like is moving into like this tank, and like there are these big cylindrical sort of like tanks, like hanging off the ceiling, kind of low to the like they kind of hang downwards like vines almost, like they're like pods. So it's like they kind of go like they hang off the ceiling and then they kind of slope down and they're like like really thick, like this big,
Mm-hmm.
And so basically you see him like the thing kind of divots open. There's like a little steam, and then they just kind of throw Sharae into the pod.
All right.
And then he comes down
Alley-oop.
back to the
Rub-a-dub in the tub.
back to the. Well, you can't feel anything. I would describe how it feels, but you don't actually know. You're
not
unconscious.
conscious.
Oh,
And
Your mind is elsewhere.
and Morg is technically unconscious, but you're not. You're supposed to be, but you're not. You can see all
Oh,
this.
They tried to make
So-
me. I love them.
So he comes down off the lift, and he goes over to the people who are running the computers, and he says, "Okay, well, run." He gives it like this designation, like run program Alpha Zeta.
Maximus.
All right, and they like start calibrating the program. It's like, okay, well, begin the upload. All right, and they start. You see this like this thing, sort of like this like these machines start like whirring up, and like the pod starts like glowing, like there's like lights, and it's like making lots of noise.
Mhm.
All right, and so after, are you doing anything like physically, or are you just like watching all this?
I'd say I'm going to use mind sight.
Because like she's like holding you by the arm, kind of like this. Not like that. Like she's holding underneath your arm and like guiding you along, and you're just kind of watching this. And
Oh,
you're
she
using,
thinks I'm a vegetable right now.
Yeah, she thinks you're a vegetable.
Oh, it's just,
And you're gonna use mind sight to do what? What are you looking at?
I'm going to look at Sharae's mind while this is all going on.
Okay, what you see is that, and this is very weird. What you see is it's almost like what you saw before.
Mhm.
Like what kind of visualization do you want here? Like what do you sort of like?
All right.
Do you want to see her aura again, or is it like what exactly are you like? Brain waves, like what?
I kind of want to see her brain's aura.
Okay, so what you see is literally, and this doesn't really make any sense to you. It's like this doesn't follow the laws of even metaphysics, but literally you see her aura like it's moving through the air.
Into the
Like
machine?
you just transmit. You have no idea how this is working. Like it doesn't make any sense. But like her aura is like moving along the air through the actual like space between the two. Like there are multiple pods. I should have mentioned that. So like there's this one pod, and then there's like maybe about a dozen other ones
Mhm.
that all go across this entire area. And they look like there could be like 30 to 50 of these. Like there's a lot of them.
And I'm just seeing some weird thing happen with her mind.
Yeah. Well, what you see is her mind is literally. I mean, as far as you can conceptualize it, it's literally being moved through the air. It's like that Willy Wonka thing where they like move the particles through the air, right?
Mhm.
But that doesn't make how would they move work. Like no, it doesn't. But you see it happening. Like you see her aura like basically being broken up into pieces and like moving through the air, and you're like obviously following it with your eyes, and you can see it because you're a mage. You can see her or actually like moving. Like
And as far as I can tell, there's no magic going on. This is pure man-made technology.
you have no idea what this is. Like it doesn't make any sense. It's like it's some kind of weird like maybe it is magic. You don't know.
All right, but as far as I
Maybe
know, I
it's-
don't sense any magic
You
going
know,
on.
you don't sense anything going on. So whatever this isn't like magic as you know it. But this is definitely not something that's normal.
Something twisted. It's unnatural to me.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know the hunter
Um,
from we kill the unnatural.
so what you see is basically the aura eventually finishes moving into one of these other things, right?
Mhm.
And you see Dr. Lair sort of moving over to one of these computers with like a monitor on it. It's like, okay, let's see what we have here. Rational paranoia. Yes, we can get rid of that. So we can move that around a little bit. This data is interesting. We can work with this.
Do they see my memory?
We harvest this. Cost. She's typing thing. I'm not gonna get the hacker screen, but you can see her doing the weird. Like, there's all this data coming up. There's like partitions of her brain that you're seeing. There's like weird sort of photographs or like videos of things. Yes, that's unnecessary. We can remove this. Maybe boost the obedience by about 5%. Shouldn't be too strange.
She's going to be more obedient, is she?
We should balance this a bit.
Free.
Please.
Okay. I don't think we need to. Let's run a last check for physical deformities. Okay, we can start the final process now. And she presses like a button, and like again, all the other sort of things start to whir again, like the machines start moving, and as your sight still on when you're seeing this, or
Yes,
what?
I'm gonna use sight to see this. I probably flicked it off while I'm looking at the screen because I'm studying the screen. I'm just gonna flick it back
Right.
when I look at Sharae again.
What you notice is that like in the other, they're actually all active minds in these, whatever these are, like as you're looking around. Like whatever's in these things are all like thinking things. Like you don't know if they're robots or computers or what, but they're all, and because mind actually doesn't discriminate between computing, like intelligence and like or artificial, I should say, artificial intelligence versus living intelligence. So like if these were AIs, it would still register as a thinking. But what you recognize is that there are thinking things in whatever these things are. If they're human beings or what, but you might be getting close to finding out.
Nice.
So what you realize is that Sharae, like again, the director sort of goes up in one of these lifts, and like before, you see the pod open, and inside the pod is like a naked version of Sharae. And he basically like hauls her down. Two of these people like take her and sort of haul her off into another room that you don't see.
Oh my goodness, am I restarting?
It's just
So,
like Angel.
I guess that will be enough. I think we can take you home now. She's like looking at Melissa. Please come with me. Your head might feel a bit numb and such, but overall you should feel better after a few hours. Just rest and have some fluids. You'll be fine. Might be a slight headache, but you can take some medicine for that.
Sure.
Nova.
I'm
Remember
getting
the video I took?
yes.
I'm gonna wake up and find that and be like,
Your phone's broken though.
I uploaded it to my school account. Or not my school account, but like online.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Rip. Ooh.
Remember I said that if my phone is taken, I don't want to lose this.
Right. So you uploaded it to like some private
Yes.
site somewhere.
So only my account can see it.
Right.
Right.
So you so they lead you out of the room, and that's the last thing that you see.
Okay, you know how I've been taking notes the entire game?
Yeah.
How much of them should I delete?
Oh, that's a good question.
All of them.
I wouldn't say all of them. Let me see. I should have been doing that like while I was at the computer. I should have been just going through your notes and deleting them. Hold on, let me go
'Cause
do that
I don't
right
want you
now.
to delete Leo's book. I don't want you to delete
Oh, I'm very sorry. I'm gonna have to do that.
Leo's phone. No,
No,
but
I'm
the thing
kidding.
is that unless you want to
You
retype
can
all
make
that
copies of it.
because
Yeah,
I'm gonna look
you
through
can
it
make
again later.
copies, but you don't know any of this in character.
So I lose all
Anyway.
my information on everyone's auras.
Essentially, yes.
No wonder it makes sense now in character that I just scanned Melissa for the first time, even though I've had her as a teacher for a couple of years.
How many resets have you had?
A lot, probably.
How many
Yeah.
times have you freaked out?
You actually see a number like on the screen because there are numbers for all of these things, and so the one that they put her into was like there are numbers on the pods, and so there was one that was labeled 32 was the one they put her in, and the one that they're taking out of is obviously the number after that. So if you can add 1 to 32, you got a
This
number.
is the body. Oh God.
Can I gain the striking looks merit?
Can I
from
get an
this?
arcane beat?
Well, in theory, you could now.
I don't have enough experience for it, though, is the problem.
Right, but you can rearrange the merits you have now, and you could trade,
Ooh.
stuff that you don't want anymore for that.
Oh, this is just like with Demon when you swap bodies. Ugh.
Alright, cool. I will do that then.
So essentially,
Okay.
from what I observed, they essentially swapped out
You can
Sharae's body.
you can also rearrange your stats if you'd like, but your skills would mostly stay the same.
Oh my. Okay.
Like you can move. You have to keep the same amount of dots up.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can move them around, and you probably would want to lower your resolve a bit because that's specifically what they did.
But I spent
I think
4 experience to increase resolve.
Yeah, but you can move that dot somewhere else now,
Oh, okay.
so you don't lose the dot. You just would move
Okay,
it.
I'm very happy with that. Can I move it to like a different category?
Yeah, you can move it anywhere.
Like into manipulation or something?
Yeah, sure.
So
Oh, yes.
essentially, what I just saw was essentially they put one Sharae's body, and I'm assuming this in character. They moved one Sharae's body into a tank. They retracted their memories, altered it, then put it into a new body.
That seems accurate. Yeah. I mean,
All
I'm
right.
not actually going to remove it. I
I'm
actually
moving
decided
the
I'm
resolve
burn
die
down the
into
school, holy
composure
shit.
because I'm obedient.
fair.
Wait.
That makes sense.
Oh, that'll be great for pet play. Kappa.
It's only a minor increase. Like they're trying to make it so you don't seem like a robot, but you're slightly more.
You're a robot.
They've had to adjust it back and forth a few times.
I would think so. Does my integrity go back up to 7?
See, I'm debating on the answer for that question because that's a very important question.
You get a
'Cause
full
you no
reset.
longer-
That's
You no longer have the thing that caused you to. What was the thing that caused you to freak out again? What was it like? There were a lot of things. But
It
what was
was.
the?
I rolled at least like 5 integrity rules, but I passed all of them except for I think it was the very first one.
See, I mean, it's a
And
really
that-
hard thing because
It was by seeing my video. It was when I watched Leo die.
That's what I remember. You don't remember him dying anymore, so technically that wouldn't.
As soon as I watched my video, though.
They'd probably want the trauma to go away. But if you watch the video again, I'm going to just say it automatically goes back to, you don't even
Alright,
roll.
when I
It's just-
see it.
Yeah. But for now, you can put it back up. But you could just put a note that, like, if you watch the video again, it's just you're going to remember it, and then it's going to be really bad. You're just going to lose it again. So that's I'm going to let you choose, because you could try to start remembering things, but the more you remember, the lower your integrity is going to go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. So underneath your willpower,
Uh-huh.
there's a thing that you have called memory, which isn't there, but it's there now because now you know about it.
Alright.
And I think right now you have 1 out of 1.
Okay, I wrote that down.
Cool. Just so you understand, that was how you were able to use your thingy without needing to use willpower. That one time.
Oh, cool.
But it wasn't there until now that you could see it. Oh,
Nice.
and also one other thing. Since you're aware of this now out of character, I will give you one more thing. You have a merit called subliminal conditioning, and it is rated at 1 dot.
Okay.
That's all for now, anyway.
Yeah.
They haven't made any major alterations to your character. But if you want to, say, oh, I'm more manipulative now, that's probably something they
Bigger
engineered.
breasts. Kappa pride. I'm
More
sorry.
manipulation.
Yes. Make her breasts bigger. That would be heinous.
I don't know why. I'm
There
sorry.
you go.
How do I? Don't they get jack up the slider like it's like fucking Mass Effect or something? Yes.
Oh, God.
Make them bigger.
And
Well, they'd have to they'd have to like re-engineer the whole thing from scratch. So I don't think that'd be very. Yes, I need a model with bigger breasts, please. Why? Just do
essentially,
it.
Fun.
oh boy,
For fun.
they probably don't
That's
even
how I
care.
got the striking looks, isn't it?
Well, I mean, you don't have striking looks unless you want it now.
I-
Unless you actually rearrange your stuff. And then for the notes, I won't actually make you delete anything, but you could put a bar underneath it or something.
I think I would
Last.
like to delete what I do not remember.
Okay, well then I'll delete what they would, but I'll make a copy and then give it
Okay.
to you, and then I'll delete it from your sheet, and then you can choose if you want to keep it or not.
Why don't you
I'll
just
do that after.
highlight
I'll
everything?
do that after this.
Highlight everything you
Yeah,
think should be deleted.
I'll do that
We
after.
can do it
I'm
after
done.
if you want.
Yeah, sure. But I still need to give you hunter beats and all that kind of stuff.
I'm still a hunter.
Well, no, actually, you're a clone, but that's not important.
Hey, well,
Moving on.
Interesting.
So Melissa, I'll get to Sharae in a second, but Melissa, well, there was nothing wrong with you, but you get out of the facility and they leave you in the office, and the director is sort of sitting there, and you kind of come back into full consciousness now.
Me full consciousness? Well, I never felt dazed because I prevented
no, but the idea is that you recognize that you're less. Well, I mean, you felt like that there was something there that you had to like hold back, and now you just feel. It's like, oh, I feel kind of weird, but like you were able to remember everything clearly. But it's not like a major like, oh, like you'd be brain dead otherwise. So it's kind of like you went from being brain dead to being, oh, I feel kind of weird.
Oh, so basically,
now it's just like that fades from you entirely.
Basically, they tried to make me into vegetables so I wouldn't remember, but instead it had a lesser effect.
Right. So you were still like, but you weren't like out of it. So like you obviously saw everything, and then you're gonna write in your journal and be like, ooh, I knew now more things. Good.
Hello, director.
He sort of yes. So Sharae is being taken care of. I sent her back to her room.
Oh yes, I saw how she was being taken care of.
That's good. Well, have a good day. Our meeting is done here.
I'm not done though.
Oh?
I guess I do have a question
Is there
or two.
something else you need?
Well, I have a question. Why?
Well, you see, she tried to access her files, and well, if no student should be able to access their private information. See, there's very sensitive documents held within this.
I see.
Nature. We wouldn't be allowed by law for this information to be released. We have to keep it under heavy scrutiny, you see. We can't just let any student, let's say, access another's address or other sorts of personal information. So, of course, we're going to make sure that Sharae is treated well here, but rather than treating her as we have with the luxuries that we've allowed, we'll have to treat her as if she had committed a serious offense against the school, which, according to the police and the reports and the evidence that we've gathered, she certainly has.
I don't remember making my defense, do I?
You don't remember?
No, you do.
Oh,
Oh, I do?
I'll let you keep those parts. All right.
Yes.
All right.
Well, obviously, he didn't answer the question she wanted her to because she was referring to something very different. So, excuse one moment. I'm just thinking of a response.
Am I healed up? Because I had lethal damage on me.
Well, hello. You're not in the same. Of course you are.
All right, I'm just making sure I don't want to do anything without permission.
Question. No, you're perfectly normal now.
All right.
All good.
Back to partying.
Tell me, director.
The way that you say that, it makes me laugh because I know something you don't. But we'll get there eventually.
I'm sure you do.
It's going to be easier for you to remember the more times they do this. So,
Should I scramble my aspirations?
if you choose, they haven't actually given you new ones. So,
All my aspirations had to get stronger to murder supernaturals, avenge Ryan, and stop Alice from harming her friends.
that's correct. Well, yes, you'd probably have to, but I'd let you replace them immediately at this point.
Okay.
Because otherwise, making you wait a week where you're actually, well, okay, because I have to debate the thematic resonance of like you are a emotionless vegetable who is still trying to reintegrate into society and having no aspiration versus I don't want you to earn no XP for the rest of the week, so I'll give you aspirations.
I'd just make
I'll
them
let
what
you-
they would be if she didn't know about any of this stuff.
Yeah, of course. Go back to partying. Go back to
Yep.
your life. Go back to all those kind of things. Sure.
All right.
Sure.
Director, I would like to ask if you would allow me to, I guess for lack of a better term, get closer to Sharae.
She is your student.
Yes. Well, I guess best way to put it is, as you obviously should know, I'm very close to her age. And
I want to date her.
He's like narrowing his eyes, like, what are you getting at? Like, with his face, he's like, what?
I guess after all this, it would be better if I acted towards her more as a friend than just a teacher. Does that make sense?
Treat her how you like. I'm not in charge of how you. Well, I am, but I'm not going to judge you for the way that you choose to carry out your teaching. As long as you don't violate any of the school rules, I'm fine. Which, of course, would include, inappropriate contact of any kind. He doesn't say that in character, but you know what he means. He's like, well, as long as you don't mean that. As long as you don't mean that. I guess I'm okay with it.
All right, now this is a very important question I wanted to ask out of character. As far as do I know that the Lairs live in the city somewhere, or
You don't know where they live. You could probably access their address, but their address wasn't listed on the file that you had for Sharae. So, actually, yeah, their address isn't listed in the school files, which is weird because it normally is. Their address is unlisted, which shouldn't be possible because all the other addresses are listed. But they managed to get theirs blacklisted, that kind of thing.
all right, I'm gonna ask this. I was wondering, do you know when I'd actually have a chance to speak with Sharae's parents, perhaps Mrs. Lair?
I mean, you could speak to her father if you want. I'm aware that he's available.
I see. As for Mrs. Lair, she's unavailable.
She's preoccupied. You can understand. She
Okay, with that, she's just gonna she's gonna laugh. She's
He's
gonna let
not
like a
lying.
dry.
He's telling the truth.
All right. How long has it been since I've seen Miss Lair? Since the last parent-teacher conference, wouldn't you say?
Yes, at the beginning of the school year, if you remember.
Okay, at that she's gonna let out a dry laugh. Oh, how could I forget? Seems like yesterday with how things pass. Don't you agree?
No, it's been a very long time.
Hmm. Who knows?
He's like, no. I always this is
Well,
the
I
way
don't know. I guess sometimes I just
time
find
flies, eh? No, it's no.
I don't know. I just find it hard to remember things sometimes. You know. Oh
You've
well.
always had a good memory. It was listed in your file.
Yes. Yes, it was. Anyway, I best be off then. Looks like we're not going to be
Yes.
talking about the other students this meeting, are we?
Well, the other students, they are concerned, but if you'd like me to bring everyone in, we could discuss it. I just wasn't expecting Sharae to come so soon. That's all.
Hmm. I suppose not. Perhaps another meeting then. I have things I have to go do. As you know, I'm a rather busy woman.
This was quite an interruption. Well, you have a good day.
You too, director.
I'll be keeping in touch.
Hmm. We'll see. With that, she's just going to leave.
Okay.
All right. So I already have plans for trying to get the Mage Council to destroy this whole place. I don't know about you guys.
Hey guys, help! They're making people, guys. They're doing it. I'm scared. I don't know what's going on, but
I mean, like, I'm about to go home and record that passcode, and then I'm just gonna be like, Mage Council, yo, let me show you this weird acid
you
trick.
call them. You're like, okay, go ahead.
What?
So you're gonna go home and record all the data that you just gathered.
Mm-hmm. Record it
Go ahead
nice.
and include that on. Go ahead and include that on your notes page.
All right, I'm gonna add it under a status.
Dude,
What?
oh my, I need to talk to you about just how much I forgot. But if
Wait,
you want, we can save that for another time.
are you a sleepwalker now? Are you a sleeper or a
She was
sleepwalker?
always a sleepwalker. She was always a sleepwalker.
Oh yeah, all the clones are sleepwalkers. Director X goes. Okay.
Yeah, I'll start going through the data now. Hold on.
Okay, I also, just to know, like, do I remember my relationship with Christina? Do I remember that she's dead? Do I remember that,
Yeah, I mean, you remember Christina, but you don't remember that she died.
okay. Do I remember, like, the last 2 days with her, though?
I'm trying to think if you're See the whole. I'm trying to remember.
Like, I don't think I would remember,
No,
Cat Girl.
that's a good question. I mean, no, that would have been obviously removed. Christina, you probably would remember that you had a relationship with her. Like that wouldn't be deleted.
Okay, but then I wouldn't remember anything we talked about other nature, otherworldly stuff,
Yeah, like all that stuff would
or
have been
beasts or anything.
gone. I mean, you can copy it, but it's basically like not there.
So I don't have beasts or anything in my knowledge anymore.
No.
All right, do I remember any of Melissa's aura stuff?
No.
Okay.
Which is good. Well,
Do I remember that she told me that her parents were killed?
Yes.
Okay.
Does she remember my mental breakdown?
Yes.
Fuck. No, wait. She might
How would I
not.
remember the mental breakdown when it's literally based on
You
supernaturals?
wouldn't remember why, but you remember that she had a breakdown.
But would she remember what I said during that mental breakdown?
No.
Okay, she just like
I
have
just
like a
remember
small.
seeing her like crying, like.
Do I remember Lavender?
Yeah.
Remember,
All right,
you not remember Lavender at all before.
I'm gonna erase some stuff about Ryan.
You actually would remember Ryan's aura. It's not abnormal.
All right.
Well, that solves my problem of not being able to help you anymore.
I
But
don't
this
remember
is
that she's a vampire.
Well, I already cleared that for you.
What?
yeah. Nah, but like it's kind of like I don't know how to. Melissa's a
I
little bit.
almost want to say that if Kale's dead, we just wipe him entirely from your memory, but that would be
Oh my
kind
god,
of,
he was never alive.
that'd be so stupid. I don't want to do that.
I mean, like I'm not
Who's
so sure how Melissa thinks of you because she knows you're just a clone now.
Yeah, I'm lesser, aren't
Exactly.
I? All right.
I mean, that's why they were treating her like that.
Well, she sees your body as a clone, but your mind is something that's.
So do I delete Celty and Leo from my memory
You don't remember them anymore.
at all?
Well, not really.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some problems because you're gonna like have some PTSD because some things are going to connect and you're just gonna run into a block.
I mean, that's part of the problem with this system, is that if they forget to delete one thing, that's like, I went to the church and saw Lavender's. Wait, why was I there?
Did
Oh,
Lavender take me? I wasn't with Lavender. I was with some other girl.
I don't remember the headmaster. Do I?
exactly. Who, the director?
Yeah.
Well, you know he's the director, but you don't
But do I
remember his
anything
aura.
from our conversation?
Yes, you remember talking to him, but you don't remember seeing what you saw.
Okay. Do I remember Hope at all?
No. Hope is completely erased.
Okay. Do I remember Kale or Merrick at all?
See that? I'm gonna say yes, but you don't remember like what he actually is because
What do I know about Kale?
You only know him as a coworker, I'd
Kale
say.
was a
yeah,
coworker.
he worked with you.
Kale's
Yeah.
a coworker.
Now
Kale's
he's-
gone.
now he's-
I mean,
now-
Merrick is gone.
But you don't. I don't think you know he's dead yet, like in character.
Right. I assumed that he died with Christina.
And then like
Before.
all of the Leo stuff would have probably been removed, but you could copy that if
I
you
am
wanted.
gonna keep that there just because,
Sure.
Well,
Do I
I
remember
just thought-
Alice?
Hey guys, I
You
just
know
found
Alice is a person, but you don't know like what she actually is.
Okay.
guys, I just found the way how I could break Sharae's mind.
Oh,
She
good.
is rich.
I know I could show her the memories because the way my journal works, it shows you what I saw.
But if you do that, she might actually have a mental breakdown.
Yeah, I know. But she'll know the
What?
truth.
Can you lose more than one integrity in a roll?
Well, I would make it be multiple rolls, so you.
You
Yeah.
drop like
But I
5
could-
levels. But
I would.
And no, it'd be so funny if it's like you see, and then you just have a complete mental breakdown. Your character becomes unplayable, and then you have to get another. You have to wipe it anyway.
Or they just say, all right, I don't know what happened to this Sharae, but this one's really broken.
you're just like
And they make another one.
I
You're
just
like-
imagine you come in and you're like it's really broken. You're like you're not functioning. normally.
What happened?
I'm not so sure what to think of her now though. She's like
Do I remember Evan's aura?
Yes. You
Okay.
do.
they
Do I
turned
remember my nightmares?
a robot. Well, I mean you're pretty much a robot at this point, no offense.
Yes, you remember those,
All right,
but
do I
they're
remember
still very
James?
vague.
Lilia Corp.
Yes, you do.
Do I remember that they're ghouls?
You have no knowledge of
Do I
supernatural.
remember interrogating
So-
him?
Yes, but you don't remember what he said. But you remember being like there when he was interrogated.
Do I remember interrogating him at Alice's house?
Yes.
Wait, quick questions. When they were moving around her memories, I would have seen what she did on the computer, right?
But you don't have enough knowledge of like
Do I remember anything to do with Wolfgram?
you just described him in your speech, so you know who he is. Like he's Alice's whatever, but you don't know anything about him other than that. Like he's the Alice's
I don't remember his
guardian.
threats.
See, I'm wondering if that would be logged somewhere.
No,
But
I broke
you
my
wouldn't
phone.
remember because it wouldn't make sense. No, I
Alright?
meant like log in your memory, but because you might remember if he's
I might
scared.
be naturally scared of him, but
But you don't. Oh yeah, it's one of those things where you are scared of him, but you don't know why. See, this
alright,
is
and
why
the
I love
last
doing
thing,
this, because then we can set up this stuff. Okay, so Sharae.
now I can be friends with Alice just fine. And last thing,
Yes.
do I recall that I'm not supposed to be in the school for my
Oh,
current reason?
I was actually going to talk to you about that. Now, I'm not sure if you'd be okay with this, but I was actually experimenting with the idea that they could have altered your orientation.
Oh yeah, sure, that's good.
But I'm not
good with
sure.
that.
I'm not sure if that's something that you would want,
I need a new
or
reason
like because
though.
I
That
was
would alter her background as well as her current reason that she's
yeah.
in school.
So I
I
feel
need
like
a new reason.
I feel like in that case, they wouldn't do that this time. But I'm just pointing out they could.
Well, if you want to
They
do it, we
won't.
can.
No, it's okay. I actually like the idea because then we can do more of like stuff where you're not sure. I mean, maybe you're bi now. I don't know. I mean, that could be interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's make you bisexual, but it's still considered like I
Welcome
feel
to
like I'm still playing God here, but that's the whole point. Like, yes, I've altered your brain. I am God.
God of
I'm
Sharae.
God. I can do whatever I want to you.
creepy.
Yeah.
Line just
I love this like contradiction. It's like you're in school being a lesbian. She's bisexual. It's like, wait a minute, what's going on? Oh, I get it. So you'll see that, you'll be like, wait a minute, I'm not gay. I'm bi. That's awesome. I like it.
There you go.
I like that. You're like, because now your orientation has shifted, and you're like confused. You're like, wait, I'm not gay. Why does it say I'm gay on this piece of paper?
All right. Well, I think I've made the appropriate changes. I just don't have the fluff or the stats really here for striking looks. I know that it's 2 dots, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
I
you
got
can buy it
2
on the
dots.
level, I think.
I spent 1 XP, and I removed 1 from resources, and I'm moving it to striking looks.
Okay.
I remember now that I have less allowance than I used to. Darn it. This is certainly
cut your
some
funding.
interesting Matrix type of shit.
They cut your funding.
Yep. And so striking looks is 2 dots, and it gives me
Actually,
what?
that actually makes it's but like a plus. I think it's like a +2 to your social rules. I don't remember.
It's +2 to social roles that apply looks.
Yeah. I actually I find it interesting because I imagine that your resources going down makes so much sense because they're like, we're not giving you as much money because you're now on probation.
Yeah, I thought that too.
You need to get out of there, friendo. Well, then again, you're just a guinea pig, so.
I love this thing. Like, and keep in mind, I've had this planned in advance for a long time, so I'm not just pulling it out of nowhere.
You've done a very good job keeping it secret.
I was actually going to keep it secret for several more months, but then I decided, because there was a specific thing I was waiting for, because there's literally a book all about this that's coming out. Except I realized it's not going to be coming out for like a while. Like it's probably not coming out for like another year. So I was like, I might as well do this now, and I won't wait for what I was waiting for. And then if it does come out while we're still doing this, then I'll apply those rules. Because essentially that's when you would start like having mutations, which right now you're effectively stable, but if you ever became unstable, that's how we would represent that.
Ooh.
Wait, so what would happen if she got turned into a vampire? Why is this Sharae undead? Hold up a second.
Wait, it's like this Sharae is not reading any vital signs?
I mean, they probably just burn that one. I mean, that's...
Do they know about these supernaturals? I'm guessing they do.
You're not sure how much they know or are aware of.
Oh my.
I am really tempted to burn that facility down.
By the way, just so you're aware, they might not, but they have your memories, which contain that information.
So if they just look through my memories, they're going to be like, what?
No. They have all the memories?
Yes, of course.
They're going to know about me. Okay, I got to get out of the school. Shit. I got to get out of this.
You just figured it out now? Oh, that's good. That's great.
No, I'm going to put a resignation letter in the morning. Shit.
Oh
Okay.
no.
I need to leave.
They know I have
I
a
need to run. I need to...
No, wait, they
I
have
mean, I
like
don't think they looked at every. I think they'd miss a few details, but like the major things, like oh yeah, magic is real, is something they'd probably put in their folder to keep.
How many times have I discovered magic?
oh my god, son of a bitch. No.
I need to leave the school. I need to
Oh
abandon
my
my
goodness! You
status.
know what would be good? Is if
Well,
you
okay,
got
because
to
here's the
top.
thing: if you give up your job, you'll actually get those merit dots back. So it's not like your status will disappear, but you lose merits how you like. So
Yeah, but how long am I gonna last without a job?
if we did a time skip, you could probably just say, "Oh, I learned magic and high speech and stuff in like whatever this time,"
And can
and
I
then you
say I
could
got
just
a job at
replace
like
it
a
with.
different school? I'm out of this shithole.
I mean, you probably wouldn't be able to get a job at another school if they blacklist you from like schools or something if you
Why
like
would-
quit. I don't
Who
know.
says I'm
I don't know what they do, but like I don't think they do that. I mean, you could get another job, but we'd have to talk about that because that's not happening right now.
Wait, Dustin, what are you talking about? Speak freely now.
You are a probe. See, see, yeah, Dustin, you can talk. I like that.
I was thinking that you were a hunter probe. They sent you out and then you come back with Infora and new supernaturals. No, I don't need.
Yeah, I mean, like, hey, that's the way to doing it. Like, you just get the information each time, and
Keep in mind that she has this like special site that allows her to detect these things.
yeah, like,
I'm so.
That
I
makes
saw my.
sense.
I don't know. It's just so creepy for me to think about.
That's good. If I
No,
don't
it's
think
not
about
good.
it,
I don't like creepy things.
I would like to establish, perhaps as canon, that Sharae was wiped right before we started the game.
Oh sure, no, she was.
Okay,
No, that's how it
why I had
happened.
no information on any auras before then.
Yeah, I mean, basically, when you started the game, it was like you were just everything was normal.
Wait. Does that mean that they know about my curse?
You don't know because Sharae didn't have any data on that before until now.
This is so stressful. I just want to burn
You've
it all
just
down.
discovered that I am a trap card.
Yo, Nozomi, I'm gonna get Sept and Nozomi, and we're just gonna go burn it all down.
Help me, please! Yeah, literally forces just
Hey,
burn
those are my
down.
backups. Don't do that.
Yeah, you
We're
say
down
that,
to
but
school.
this is very inhumane, even for mages, probably.
I was going to reveal this if you die. This is my backup plan. I'm like, oh, if you die, I'll just get another one.
Dude, that's cool.
Thing is, I could very well do it. Yo, wait, would you be up for doing this with me? Hell yeah, I'm ready to destroy shit. I'm sorry, but like to me, this is
Stop
so.
it! I don't know why I gave you a Forces Mage. I'm just going to enable your Pyromania. I shouldn't.
No, that's perfect. Forces Mage can make all the things explode. I could literally feed them the information because I know how to get into the facility. I know about all the clones and the pods. We're gonna have about 50.
No, see, Nozomi isn't the type to burn things down. So you'd have to like.
Sorry, so you're okay with vampires, but not this?
I mean, this is very, very abnormal compared to vampires. I don't know about you. Okay, how do I explain this? Vampires are a natural thing that happen. Like,
Natural,
Okay.
yeah.
So let's rewind here. So you are at your
Should
house,
Melissa roll integrity?
just so that we can
I'm not.
see. I'm debating that too, but
Oh no. I don't roll integrity for this.
that's a good point. Let's find out.
I don't know, you're freaked out of character.
That my out of character judgment does not affect my regular character or my mental
Yeah,
state.
she's right. No, but I
Well-
do need to check.
Even then, I think that you've seen mass murder, you've seen all these things, you've seen terrible,
here we go.
terrible sins, but you've
I found the
never
book.
seen this.
I've seen my soul's.
seen them?
I've seen my
I
soul's.
will clarify. You are seeing them basically like do stuff that would violate your code, but like you're not sure if that affects you in any way. So I'm gonna check here. So it says your wisdom right now is
6.
6.
Mhm.
Okay, let me check. So it says stable mages. You're stable by and large. Basic wisdom, allowing a sleeper to witness obvious magic, which you're not sure if this doesn't count as magic. You're not sure. Can cause degeneration. Self-mutilating events such as soulstone creation. See, okay, that's if you had done something to yourself. If you had tried to clone yourself, that would have been
Yeah.
maybe some kind of loss. Not attempting to contain severe paradox. Now, you're not sure why this isn't paradox. It seems like it should be.
All right. Well, I don't think that means no
Not
roll
to
then.
counter altering to or binding a task at risk of degeneration, as does deliberate and premeditated murder and violence. No, so in theory, unless you want to consider this like a threat to society, even if unless you allowed it to happen, unless if you don't do anything to stop it, then yeah, I'm gonna make you make a roll. But you've already confirmed to me that like I want to do something about this, so I don't think that's an issue.
I think that her doing something already about this is going home and recording it so she doesn't let herself forget.
Yeah. And it's like this thing of, okay, well, if you did nothing, then it would definitely be a roll. Be like, I'm just going to ignore this and move on with my life. And
no, she doesn't like it even prove like she even tested with him like, oh, this guy just said I haven't seen Miss Lair since the beginning of the year, but I just saw her 5 minutes ago. Oh, she's so full of shit. I knew she's a lying skank. No offense, your mother's a bitch.
I mean, hey, I don't know her very well. It's been
Your
years.
mother's a bitch still.
So all my memories that I have are programmed to make me love her.
Ew, that's so creepy.
Yes. I also, your mom and you look very similar, so you might as well, have put two and two together at that point. But
I have, yes. I love myself.
You're a clone of your mom now.
Either one of two things is going to happen. I'm going to find a mage council. I'm going to be like...
That's the creepy thing to me. Like...
Well, Nova, tell me, on a scale of 1 to 10, how sad would you be if this thing was destroyed?
Well, I don't, whatever. It's up to Sharae at that point. Like, if you do that.
Do you care if this whole thing is destroyed?
Well, see, I'm not the one who decides that.
No, I'm talking about Sharae.
Oh, you're talking to Sharae.
Look, would you be upset if this whole thing was brought to an end or no?
How are you going to do that? I mean,
well,
I don't want to ask that kind of question.
If it's
an
a level
entire underground facility.
Well, you see, I know
if you destroy it, you destroy all the memories I could have regained.
Mm.
And you also don't know why they're doing this.
Yeah.
And you don't know what would happen if they don't come
because I have my character has these nightmares and they bleed when they use their abilities sometimes, and maybe that's what's keeping them from exploding.
I mean, maybe that's why they need 50 of you.
That's why there's a lot of backups.
I don't know. It looks.
Normal people don't need backups, Morky.
Normal people do not need
Well,
backups.
it's obviously not like they're trying to keep you alive or anything. This is obviously you have to realize that she approached me like you were an object. She's not referring to you as like, oh my God, is she okay? No, they said, okay, so tell me the results of this experiment, please.
Well, this is the 33rd of her, so this has happened before.
Yeah, so obviously they're not doing this for your self-benefit. They're doing it, she could tell just from talking with her. Like, don't even call her.
Just because someone isn't doing it for me doesn't mean I don't benefit.
Well, I'm just saying, it's even don't even call. Like, she basically said she's not even my daughter, so why are you even doing this? She literally said, don't even call her my daughter. So I'm just like...
Well, it's because she has a different way of looking at it,
I know, everyone does.
You said calling her my daughter might be a stretch. That's like.
But as you just said, doing nothing would be bad. So I'm probably going to tell the Mage Council, and I'm wondering how they're going to react to human.
The Mage Council just might not react.
Your mindset is fine. Like, the only way it would be a wisdom failure is if you were just like, I'm going to just, even though I know about this, just let it happen.
Well,
and I know it's cruel and whatever. I'm just going to let it go. That would be.
If the mages don't agree, you want to know who's
from a mage perspective. From a mage perspective, they're fucking with her soul here. So they're clearly committing violations of.
Yeah, they're committing huge violations. They're reusing. Someone shouldn't be able to live like that. It's wrong, right?
Yeah, and you're not even sure how this is even possible.
If it was a wisdom roll to destroy someone's soul and turn him into a vampire, that's what you said, right?
Correct.
Then wouldn't ripping out someone's soul essentially and putting it into a new pot of them.
That is also
you even told me out of character that if I were to try and force my soul back into my body, that was a great sin, and I'd be labeled a lich and killed.
Correct.
So I know it's extremely wrong. So mages won't see this as right, and I doubt that Sidrian and the church are going to be very happy with human cloning.
I mean, it also depends on how like non-corrupt the mage council is. Like,
Well,
I remember the
considering
Black
how,
mage council are a bunch of assholes who lock people up for.
well, well, put it this way, my mage council considered me being alive because I had a shadow in my head to be worthy of me being executed on
Like
sight.
you're basically like a walking sin. Like you're like
Yeah.
you shouldn't exist.
So basically, I have a small curse on me that makes me a walking sin. So I don't think that they're going to be very happy if they find that people are ripping out souls from a teenage girl and re-putting into copies of her.
Okay, so my question, just real quick, because I want to see if Sepp wants to do anything. So are you going to do anything for the rest of the day, Melissa? I mean, besides trying to contact, like you could try to contact the council. That would help. But
I need to
actually,
open
I could tie this together now. We could do this. Okay, so how are you gonna try to contact them?
The mage council, me?
Yeah, how?
I'd probably, after I record things, I'd probably go to Mitsuo in the church. I'd be like, I need contact with the mage council. I have grave sins to report.
They do that. So they patch you in with one of the local agents who's available, who is obviously
Oh, so you saw our
here
working
with
place.
us. Yes. So they patch you like they basically they phone Nozomi and they're like, okay, well we have someone who wants to like report an incident. Could you like check this out?
And then Nozomi's going to meet me at the church.
That would probably be how this would go. Yeah.
Okay, so
Assuming that you're okay with that out of character, I think that'd be cool because I've wanted you guys to meet for like 2
and
weeks
that would,
now.
that
I
would
think it'd be
fulfill two of my aspirations.
yeah, exactly. So it would be great if you could just like, hey, we need someone to like check this out. Like you're not a herald, but like you're the closest person to what's going on. So,
I'm the herald of Nazoth. What are you talking about?
well, I'm talking to Seth here. I'm like, well, you're not. This isn't your job, but like, this is like you're the only one who's available at this point. So they're like, hey, can you check this out? Everyone else is kind of busy.
Aren't you that girl we're supposed to kill on sight? Shut your whore mouth. I'm kidding. But
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not sure how long they've been in.
I should know. How would Mitsuo take me telling him about human cloning at the school?
See, you don't know how he would think.
So, but I'm telling him this before I contact the mage cons.
Religious perspective, like, oh, you're saying him. Okay, so he'd be like, what? A human? What? Are you? Okay,
I would explain to him that.
up.
I would explain to him
Okay.
that. All right.
What did you see? Let's
I would
go.
explain to him that there's a laboratory or some sort of giant complex below the school, and that essentially they're taking one of my students and they have multiple
saw
clones
this?
of them.
This isn't
Yes.
like some weird magic thing. I'm just making sure.
They tried to wipe my memory, but I was able to create a block to stop it.
Okay.
So essentially what
Okay.
they did was that they tore out, I guess, her memories or some sort of soul from her body, and they put her
What?
basically into a new vessel.
You serious? That's so cool. You think they could do that with my? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting off track. So,
Mitsuo, aren't you a man of God?
should we?
So this is a grave sin. You can't.
He's a nerd first, man of God second.
I want talking bears, guys. I need them.
Mitsuo, I'm sure I could get a bear. I'm sure I could put like a ghost inside your bear so it could talk to you.
No, you could do that.
I can, but like, what type of ghost would you want? It'd have to be a willing ghost.
Listen, we could
That's
talk
like-
about.
You're just talking about sins, and you're like, I'm gonna put a ghost
Get
up
the
in there.
dead ghost of Julius Caesar.
I'll have to pick one later.
I'll go up to the
Uh,
Reapers. Goes up to the Reapers. Give me
No,
this.
he's like, I'm not done. She's like, we have an appointment with Alice in the Dreamlands, and now this is great. I'm going all out today, making all these plans.
I just imagine like she just takes the bear. She goes up to the Reapers. Give me the soul of Shakespeare. Comes back
guys.
20 minutes later. Okay, Shakespeare, come over here, buddy. It's like, what are you doing? Shh.
I've unfortunately got to leave. I am on 2 hours past when I should be on voice, and I don't know how I haven't been killed yet.
That's what I figured.
Don't die, lovey.
All right.
I'm just letting, like,
So
the
that was
last
really
thing we
good.
see is you being hauled off, and then we'll
I'll talk to you later, and I'll resume this on
Yes.
text.
Yes. Okay.
Adios.
Have a good night.
Feel free to continue.
Bye bye. Oh.
I felt like that was a good endpoint for them anyway. So,
This is
So
all
where-
really twisted and fucked up. When can
where
I
were
just
we
put a
with,
fire to
with
it?
Mitro? You were saying he was talking about bears. So he's like, all right. Well, we were going to investigate the school. I was going to send Alice and Sidra in there. Did you think we could look into this?
You were going to send Alice's what?
Well, she came. Oh, right. You weren't here. You had your comm off.
Hmm.
We
Wiggles the
we,
calm.
we negotiated with her, and she was willing to cooperate with us. Her and Sidron were going to go investigate the school later at night.
Well-
If you think that there'd be something there, maybe we could.
Well, Mitsuo, if you could call them back and allow me to explain, I have the key code to get into the underground lab.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, we'll coordinate something for sure.
They
This
tried
is
to
good.
wipe my memories. It
What's
didn't
the
work. But
he's
first,
like asking.
I'd like to report this to the local mage council.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'll patch you through to them. Sure.
I have a feeling that my fellow mages or fellow awakened won't be very pleased to hear that mere humans are toying with the human soul.
Yeah, but weren't you like blacklisted from their records or something?
I destroyed.
Wow.
If you could send them, if perhaps you could be a nice fellow and send them a message saying that
Yeah, I'm working on
the
it.
dark will curse has been put to an end.
Yeah, I'm working on it. He's like answering the mug very quickly. He's like, there's something that occurs. No, he's actually typing what you said, but he's like very quickly like, okay, sending them a message, and then of course they send Nozomi a message because she's the closest one to the place, and she's saying like, hey, could you meet with this person and make sure they're not possessed or whatever, and then see if she can communicate with us.
All right. Thank you, God. Then can I become a guardian of the veil soon?
Well, it's easy. It's gonna be easier for you now.
Oh my God, I'm gonna love that. My first.
I definitely don't think it's gonna take you like 3 years to be inducted.
Okay. Do you think that
But
maybe
we'll see.
if I clear this up, they'll be like, "Hey, you did pretty good with this investigation stuff. You should become a guardian."
Maybe we'll see.
I thirst for that status. You have no
Well,
idea.
you will get there. Believe me. I'm not
I'm
ignoring
sorry,
your
but
plea.
now I'm very reinvigorated for this game because now I have something. Now I actually have an actual driving motion in this game besides the goddamn leveling up an Arcana that's going to take a week.
Well, I'm happy to help with that. What's the wording? The Guardians of the Veil are like my favorite. Covenant order. So I'm not. I mean, of course, if it comes down to like Old World of Darkness versus New World, I could go into my other favorite. Tradition.
Nova, I need like one more beat. I think. Wait, let me look.
You need one more beat. Well, it's an end of a session, so if you want to take that, you can take it.
Okay, no. Now I just actually no wait. One more. Oh, wait, it's the end of the session, so I get a free beat.
Tell Sharae real quick before they go to bed. Well, they might be able to do it anyway.
So now I got one beat. So now I'm at 6 EXP. Okay, so
for end of session.
I need one more EXP, and then I could level up 2 Arcana. Holy shit, I need that.
And, Hunter beats tomorrow. Okay. Oh. Okay. Sorry, I'm just negotiating stuff with them.
With Sharae?
Yeah. Because I'm like, oh, we need to write a summary, but they don't want certain things to be Yeah, said. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll let you write it so you can decide what information you want to give and what information you don't. Okay, so you'd be patched through with them. So the next thing that would happen would be you meeting with Sept, I think. Unless they're away, they haven't answered me in a while. But in general, that would be the next thing that would happen. And we don't necessarily need to do that right now, but that'd be the next event to come up. So we would probably do that in text.
All right, so just I guess whenever they're free, just have them.
Unless you'd rather do it now, I'm not sure. I'm asking Sept because I'm like, whatever's more convenient for you.
They want to do a voice session.
If you'd rather just have a quick conversation so that you both can get extra beats, because I think you also have an aspiration for.
I have two aspirations for learning about magic.
Well, I think they also have one too for making mage friends stuff.
So I could get 3 beats right now.
Yeah, and I'm not tired, so I mean I might want to break, but I want to see what's more convenient for them. I think text would be easier, then we'll just do it that way.
All right.
I want to make this easy for you. I'm gonna just stop the recording because I think we've gone far enough, but I'll talk you guys out of chat stuff. I'll do that.